So we've got a bit more CS this time around in this region.
Yeah, but right now we do have the pistol round of map 1. Just for clarity's sake, I should let you guys know that the map bans are Nuke, which is what we are seeing right now, the pick of Paquetá. Map 2 is going to be Vertigo. That's the pick of, or excuse me, map 1 is picked by SWS. Vertigo is picked by Paquetá, and then the decider will be Dust 2 if we see it. But right now we are going to see this pistol round. Matios is going to trade one back, bring this to a 4 versus 3. 3 versus 3. IDK is in a perfect position to find one, but he isn't able to close the kill onto Che. And now David, he has so much to do. He sees the players dropping down to the B site. He gets that information, but he is taken out in the process. So now it's all on to Ketex in a 1 versus 2, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, that was perfectly done by SWS. A good start for them, and I would say, you know, starting on the T side of Nuke, it is important for them to get off to the best opportunity, or the best start possible, to give themselves the best opportunity in this best of 3. As you say, the first 2 maps are Nuke and Vertigo, and they're 2 maps that I actually enjoy watching quite a lot, so I'll be curious to see how these particular first 2 maps pan out. I would love to go to a decider, but that is yet to be seen. SWS in the next round have the Mac 10, looking to try and farm up the cash, but of course Paquetá are choosing to force 4 Deagles and a Scout. Scout will probably go toward outside, but the Deagles on Nuke, close range, very dangerous indeed.
Yeah, we see the outside take coming through from SWS. They do have the better ranged guns. They won the previous round, so their economy is sitting pretty, but that doesn't mean that it's not a little bit dangerous. You know, any team at this level with Deagles is still an absolute threat, and that absolutely rings true for Paquetá. But right now it's going to be Ketex once again sitting down here. He's going to be the player called on towards this B site. Last round we did see him as the last player alive. He couldn't get much done, though he did find a kill before he fell. But right now he is just going to have a smoke plume in front of him, and that's going to slow down the round a little bit for both of these sides.
And slowing it down in a round such as this is the best thing possible. You know, you can easily create some havoc as the time ticks lower. With obviously 4 rifles on SWS, which is quite a significant investment early on. And there we go. Already, Rick's taken down to 14 HP. We'll at least get the frag toward David. So the Scout does damage, but not the frag. And now SWS look to try an entry in towards Secret. Ricky only gets another frag, and this is now settling SWS down a little bit. Only 3 more Deagles yet to find. And it should be fine as they do find Ketex toward ramp. So that means the bomb can go down cleanly. And hopefully it will be their 2-0 start. Of course, you'd expect Paquetá probably to save these Deagles now. It'll be all they have into the next round. And SWS have started the best way they could possibly do.
Yeah, they immediately decide to back off of the site and go for the save, so that's really all you can do. SWS coming out of the gates roaring. They are looking really solid, at least in these first few rounds, against what is a very higher rated team. So that's definitely the start they want. The question is, can they keep up this momentum as Paquetá start to build up a little bit more of an economy? Next round, they won't have much. It's probably going to be a pistol, but after that, it will be what is most likely our first actual rifle round, and that's going to be really where SWS are tested. But Che, he's going to go ahead and see if he can find any of these exits, but they are around the corner, and they're not going to give him anything. So SWS, they do win the round, but Paquetá, they stay alive with 2 players, 2 Deagles, and some armor.
Yeah, and the best thing you can really do in this sort of situation for Paquetá is probably put these Deagles together on a site, hope they walk into a bit of a crossfire, as obviously you only have USPs to surround it. So you would expect SWS to make it to the 3-0. We've seen crazier things, of course. Che looking to try and, as you say, farm up that cash on the Mac 10. He's the only one on the SMG still. So SWS, I mean, they've built up their economy already. They're not taking too many losses early on. So that's important. Che will already manage to hop down towards Secret with those outside smokes. So that is a good bit of map control already. Destiny will take him down, though. At least that's only the SMG. Now the rifle should be able to do the work. Mac 10 recovered, obviously, as we go in toward ramp, I think.
Yeah, they're looking to take control of this ramp position, but B is a little bit staffed right now. Matios, he will trade 1 back as well as a second, but David is there for the trade back, making this a 3 versus 3 and picking up what is going to be a very important AK to make this round possible for Paquetá. The question is, can they find any more of these players off guard? Reeks is going to go ahead and find Ketex off guard up on A Heaven. And now this is much more in favor of SWS, especially when Gafolo finds that kill right there. Now it's all on to Destiny. 3 health, and he's going to get peeked and taken down. That is a 3rd round for SWS. Of course, not too difficult. It was against the pistols, but it got a little bit dangerous there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, taking 2 kills away is not really too bad. I'd be pretty comfortable with that if you were Paquetá. But of course, now it's their big buy. AWP is out on Kutex. I'll be interested to see how he gets started. Of course, I've seen quite a lot of the AWP players from this region over the last week or so. And what Kutex is actually one of them I have not seen play yet. And of course, usually it's quite often that your AWP player is the star. So I'm interested to see how he works it out. He's already going a little bit of aggressive play here toward the ramp position, but once again, SWS are throwing in those deeper outside smokes, looking to make their way down towards Secret. Possibly could go toward Garage as well with those if they want to sneak through it, but I think they're going to commit to what works best in this situation. And David has already been pushed back down toward the B site because of that.
Yeah, he has to rotate. He has to try to catch these players rotating. SWS, it's almost insane how much success they're finding towards this B site and how confident they are in just doing the same thing over and over again. You know, normally you would criticize a team for just doing the exact same play multiple rounds in a row, but when they get so much map control so early, it's really hard to criticize it. Of course, you know, outside Nuke isn't really a spot you can fight a lot when you are a CT, but still, it's difficult map control to give up. But David, he is not going to give up the kill. Instead, he will find the opener on to the Folo, and Nython, he will drop. So it is a 4 versus 4. Riccioli is going to drop as well, and now outside is lost. IDK stuck on the site, has to fight for heaven. He is able to find one and the second before he finally falls from Riccioli in mini.
Yeah, 2v2 now. There isn't a defuse kit, of course, and there is a molly in toward Hut, so they will be able to get this bomb planted eventually. It's going to be a tough retake, though, because Riccioli does have the angle. David on the 47 HP only. Riccioli on the 56 gets the first frag, does Matios, and look at the damage, the collateral damage through to Kutex. That means he has no choice but to fall back with this AWP on 8 HP. So SWS, they've solved that one really nicely. Of course, Paquetá, I felt like they didn't want to go for something, you know, too aggressive early on their first CT buy round. Often it can be, you know, you want to play it safe when you have the guns early on rather than take any unneeded risks. But this time, that's just given SWS a little bit too much space to work with, as you mentioned. Once again, getting their way all the way down and then eventually switching to go back through to the A site. Worked out to perfection. AWP will be available, but that's all. Maybe a couple of SMGs and pistols, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, SWS, that was a very important round for them to win. That's exactly what's going to keep their momentum going and what's going to really, really hurt Paquetá. Their economy is in such a weird position now. They save over an op, and they have a few players that are on a couple thousand, so they can almost buy into this round, but not entirely. And they are actually going to practice a little bit of self-restraint on this buy and only buy down to some SMGs, some pistols, and make sure they all stay around that 2,000 position, more like 1,500, but that is a good decision. And Che, he is actually going to find the opener outside. Nython trying to get aggressive, trying to catch off this outside control that SWS have been going for almost every single round, and he's not going to be successful. That's one kill from Kutex, but that's all he can find. And now a 2 versus 4 after a beautiful site take.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough position to put your AWP in, to be honest. I am surprised that he decides to choose the CT vent spot when he's got the AWP, which is one of the most common spots to be mollied out. I guess he kind of had no choice in the end with where he tried to position himself. Yeah, but as you say, Destiny, he has at least got an AK still, so they will be able to save that over to the next round if SWS don't go hunting. And with the economy the way it is, they can afford to do that, of course, on definitely the 2 rifles. So it will be a little bit dangerous. Or David's can at least hang around, of course, because he only has that deagle. And there we go. There's the information. Rix will take him down, and that punishes that deagle. So a risk that's able to be taken there. No problem with that at all. And now Destiny can have that AK in toward the next. Obviously, saving with 1950. He is the he's one of the players, one of the 3 players who is below the 2K mark on that save. So it's important for him to grab that AK and get all the utility he wants into the next round. Paquetá really need to start getting off the mark soon, otherwise SWS, they could be starting a shock.
Yeah, I mean, SWS, they are just looking stellar right now. Their site takes, especially that A take, just looked beautiful. I mean, within seconds, the round was over. Of course, you know, it's always something you have to say. It was against a force. It was against a half buy, against pistols and SMGs. But still, when I was trying to observe that round, every time I switched to Paquetá player, all I saw was white on my screen. It was just, everyone was blind the second that site take came through. So SWS, they're just looking really, really solid on their team play right now.
Yeah, and that's given them this 5-round lead early on. Clean sheet remains intact. And I am impressed with their start for sure. I mean, I've mentioned it multiple times in our cast together that Nuke is more T-sided than ever before. It's more even than ever before. Quite often you see 9-6, 10-5 T halves. It's almost become the norm now. But yeah, Paquetá, we would expect them to be the favourites in this game. So already a bit of a duel toward that position. Will at least go 1-for-1, will David. So that's something. It reduces the arrears a little bit. There is still plenty of utility on SWS here. Paquetá at least have good defense with their utility as well. They're keeping it in tow a little bit more this time. Bomb will get planted though, and it will be a full retake. It's going to be a play toward Secret, and Riggs gets both kills. Beautiful work for him. That's 3 in the round already, and they can't really afford to go for this 2 versus 4. Riggs is on for the ace. Gofolo will steal it away, taking down IDK. Now it's down to Kutex, just trying to escape, but he's going to get peeked by Riggs. Big 4K from Riggs. That was really, really nicely done, and he's already up to 9 kills on round number 6.
Yeah, this is... I mean, SWS, if you were to ask me, hey, one of these teams is extremely... Or if you were to tell me one of these teams is ranked, in, like, the top 60 in the world and the other one's in the top, 110 in the world, which one do you think is which? I would get that answer completely wrong because SWS, they look not only like they're the better team in these 6 rounds, they look like they're just more confident going into this as well. I know, just from even playing on extremely low levels in, just for fun tournaments, that when you're going up against a team that, at least on paper, is supposed to be better than you, it can be really nerve-wracking. But look at this. Even in this round now, they're so aggressive outside that they find 2 kills for almost free. Just a beautiful crossfire to find them 2 openers. They are not afraid of Paquetá in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I think that, honestly, I think IDK and Destiny were a little bit upset with the way those 2 frags came in because it looked like, that angle was going to be held. There was a player in mini before that player next to this squeaky door got taken down. So sort of be asking, okay, well, where's the hold? Ooh. David at least gets 1 toward ramp, and he just about gets away as well. It drops 1 AK. Gofolo can't trade it with the AWP. And that gives Paquetá a little chance because now David has a bit of timing. He can push behind them and possibly catch a player off guard. Che will take Kutex though, and that's a nice shot from Gofolo. So that should seal the round. David does recover that AK we mentioned that was dropped with his 1 frag in this round for Paquetá. But again, it has to be a save.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he wants to stick around maybe for some exits, and I don't know how much SWS want to hunt there. Their economy would allow it. It's not, an insane economy. They're not all at 16K, but they all are at a pretty comfortable point where they could try to take out this AK if they wanted. But with the loss bonus, it isn't really worth it, and I think they just kind of had that realization as well. But, he might actually find Riccioli sticking around on the site. He doesn't quite have an exit, and he's going to hear this drop. Will he be ready for it? Yeah, he's more than ready to find Riccioli there, so there's at least a little bit of a consolation kill there for David, but not much as SWS. They find 7.
Yeah, as you said, that it's absolutely a consolation kill because at this point, damage doesn't really matter too much because SWS have built up, every single one of their players with this full buy already purchased in is above, $6,000. So it's looking incredibly strong for them earlier on. And the question is, can they keep it going? Of course, when you have that much economy and you can afford to go for, buys after you lose rounds, which they haven't even lost one yet, that's definitely the most handy factor. But Paquetá need to get off their mark here. They need to make it the 7-1, the dreaded 7-1, and get themselves a frag because they haven't really had many advantages, if any, so far.
Yeah, this is... I mean, as you say, they need to make it the 7-1. If they lose this round, their economy is just in such a horrible place. Again, SWS, running away with the T side of Nuke. This is considered a CT-sided map. It's a kind of a meme at this point that casters will say, like, hey, as long as they get 4, 5, 6 rounds on their T side on Nuke, then they're probably going to be fine. But they have a lot more than that. They have 7, and they are looking at an 8th as they find 2 amazing openers. David, he's in a good position to trade back, but he doesn't hit the shot. Matios is able to find that instead, and now this round is pretty much completely said and done seconds into it. The second the site take comes through, it's immediately over. I mean, these SWS players are just so good at running onto the bomb site. They're so good at their team peaks, making sure there's a player to trade them, making sure there's a player to have a crossfire. It's really beautiful CS, and Paquetá, they have absolutely no answer for it.
Yeah, I mean, you say, they're preparing for the trades. There weren't even any trades that round at all because that's how good it was. You're absolutely spot on. I mean, look at the HP on Shea and Riccioli, sure, like at 35 combined. So, if Paquetá just hit one more bullet on a couple of those players, then maybe this round is a different story. But as it is, I mean, that is one of the cleanest A entries you'll ever see. I feel like just they're almost reading Paquetá's setups really nicely and really catching them off guard, it feels like, because that was just, as you say, an absolute clean sweep there. And the save has to come in. Of course, we can buy with the full loss bonus being absolutely built up, with especially with the 2 guns saved as well. So, yeah, what did Paquetá do to change it up here? Because, as we said, they haven't had an advantage to build. If they haven't had a 5v4 or 5v3 where they can really, really sort of change their setup to accommodate that and secure a round comfortably. So, yeah, what do they decide to do? Aggression, perhaps? Maybe a hut pinch? But that's been where SWS have done some of their best work.
I think it's a combination of they haven't tried anything new. The only time I can think of them trying something new is a player pushed outside in like round 3 or 4, but that was with pistols and it was immediately punished, because it was with pistols. But also their holds aren't the strongest. Their positioning is a little bit weak, and that's why they can get punished like this with Che finding one on the site and dragging everyone off of ramp. That would have been an important kill for David, but he isn't able to find it. He isn't able to finish off the kill. And oh my god, Ketex gets his head ripped off by Matios. The Opera isn't able to make it work. Destiny, he is good for 1, but 1 is not enough, as now it's Nithon left in a 1 versus 3. And yeah, as I'm talking about it, it falls apart. Reeks is going to find the last. And I mean, SWS, they're just ready for everything. They're like, hey, we're gonna push into the A site, see if Che can find anything. Oh, he finds one, but he immediately gets killed. Let's take ramp. We know they're falling off ramp to help A now because of how scared they are. And oh, hey, look, now we have B for free. Oh, they're rotating. We know they're going to be in motion. Let's push and free kills. Like, it's genius from SWS, and it's not sloppiness, but you can tell Paquetá are definitely in their own head right now.
Yeah, this is one of the most ridiculous starts I think I've ever seen, actually, to one of these best of 3 qualifiers, because, I mean, just look at the money. All of them have, above 10k, and all of them are just hitting every single headshot. Look at the scoreboard right now. I mean, Matias 10-2, Rix is 10-3. There's not one player negative on SWS. And Paquetá this round are forced just to go for the Deagles and MP9s, and still, it's only Nithon that can finally answer back toward Matios and maybe drop that AK. Nithon looks like he wants to go and recover it, but isn't going to risk it for now. And here we go. Perhaps something to work with. IDK will take one on the MP9. Gafolo trades it, though. Again, clean work from him. And that gives him back that advantage in a 3 versus 2. And Rix is still watching the angle for any more aggression. With a minute on the clock, they can afford to do that.
I mean, I feel for Paquetá here. I'm looking, even when they have something where I'm like, oh yeah, that's the right decision, that might catch him off guard. Immediately, they only get 1 or instantly traded, or maybe not even 1. Like, they had 2 players outside. They're able to get 1 kill off of that, but both of them eventually die. They have a really solid flank come through with an SMG. They get 1 kill there, and then the op at close range finishes that player off. It's just, unlucky go next kind of for Paquetá. There's almost nothing they can do other than hit some amazing shots. And as good as these players are, just go kill faster than they kill you is not a good strategy. Oh no, the timing was almost there for David, but he's able to find 1 and 2. And yeah, maybe go kill is a good strategy as David finds the first 2 and puts SWS in the first man disadvantage they've had in a while.
Oh, and there we go as well. That's just the way Counter-Strike works, isn't it? You're looking for a round, you've been searching for it for so long with your, your drilled CT setups, and it's a round with Deagles and an MP9 that really makes it happen. Finally, Paquetá get off the board, thanks to mostly the Deagle of David, and as we can see on the scoreboard right now, I mean, he's the only one who's even. Everyone else is struggling a little bit as we start this best of 3. So, yeah, a must-win round that was for Paquetá, to be honest, and they do manage to take it. If they can somehow, as we mentioned for the T side, fathom around something like 4 or 5 rounds, or maybe even 3 in this sort of situation, on the CT side, they'll be very happy indeed. Of course, finally that means SWS have to rebuy, but they've still got plenty of economy available. Early damage taken, and there we go. Nithon, that's another 5v4 for Paquetá to work with. Finally, they're getting some advantages.
Yeah, this is, I mean, maybe that was just the push they needed. It was just some heroics, but okay, Riccioli. The man doesn't miss shots. He is on fire today. All of these players from SWS are on fire, and that's going to rip ramp directly into the control of SWS. Now they could, they could wrap heaven if they want. They could go down ramp, but down ramp maybe not the best idea, as we do see not one, not two, but three players for Paquetá down at B. A little bit of a preliminary rotate, but it's actually going to be Ketex with the op to find Matios outside, and now this is a bit more dangerous for the side of SWS. They have made it down ramp with at least one of these players, and Gafolo is going to trade onto IDK, so it's getting a little bit easier for them. Destiny, he's able to find one, and now, I mean, just the trades back and forth. It's hard to predict who's going to be in charge in this round with how fast these teams are just finding openings on each other, and now it's all left onto Riccioli in a 1 versus 3. He does have the right bomb site. He might be able to catch his players off, but no, Destiny finds the back of the head and finds the kill, and more importantly, finds Paquetá their second round.
Yeah, 2 in a row as well. I mean, that was absolutely imperative that they kept their little tiny streak going, or started the streak, I should say, to keep in touch in this game. It's a tough one for them, of course, considering the fact SWS can afford to go for those duels. It was a little bit unfortunate that the AWP did walk out toward A at the end there, and Nithon managed to take that frag on the low HP. But yeah, Paquetá are slowly just starting to get themselves invested into this first map. It is a bit of a SWS timeout right now, so while we wait for that, we can say that the scoreboard is just still, you know, incredibly impressive. I mean, sure, they've lost the last 2 rounds, but they have shown that they have had the answers to basically every single Paquetá setup so far. They've only lost to the Deagles and that previous round, so maybe that momentum being, you know, stunted right there and then could mean Paquetá can start to build up some of their own. But you know, Matias and Rix are still hitting headshots, so while they continue to do that, it still might be a tough ask.
Yeah, I think the problem in that last round was that SWS were just a little bit more disjointed than they've been in previous rounds. They were really spread out, trying to figure out where the weaknesses were for the side of Paquetá, and it just kind of fell apart. And as I'm saying that, they decided to go as a team towards the A site and find 2 great openers. There will be a trade back from David, but not much else he can find as he's forced off the site. The bomb will go down, and now it's on for the retake. Yeah, SWS, whenever they play together as a team, they are stellar. Also, Ketex, I'm not sure where he found that kill. In fact, actually, it was a kill onto a player in lobby. So they have the flank set up. They have everything in the right position, and that's a good spam to force Matios off of the angle. He isn't able to take the fight towards the op there, and Paquetá there making a good attempt at this retake, but they can't seem to get into the site just yet. Nithon finds the first. Shade trades back. Ketex, he's not able to finish off the kill. He gets a little bit of damage, but nothing else, and he's forced to back off. David now has a smoke in front of him. He finds the exit onto Che, though, but it's too little too late as SWS. They will find a round with the 0 players alive.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, they've taken the round, but, you know, lost every single player. Doesn't matter at this stage because they've done such great work earlier on that the economy is absolutely fine. But, yeah, Paquetá, I was a little bit surprised, actually, that in that 3 versus 4, they did go for that. As, you know, obviously it's near the end of the half, so you're probably thinking, okay, we need as many rounds as possible, but at the same time, that was probably never going to work. And they recovered it to 3 versus 3. I had a slight, you know, sniff of it, but other than that, not too much. And they will escape with a couple of guns at least, so it's not too bad. And we're going in for a fast vent dive here, and they're going to just about make it down. Actually, Ketex, he does well to drop one. I'm not entirely sure where that was, but still, he manages it. And the frag's now coming in for David too, so they've stopped that play just in the nick of time. Riccioli is in a decent spot, but Ketex will find him as well, and David is even down toward B to stop that from even any more plants coming in. So it should be fine. Matias is in 28 HP as well, so, and I think David is aware that he could be behind those double doors.
Yeah, he definitely heard him running, so he's, you know, coming to his teams. Hey, he's somewhere on B, and you can just see the way that they are absolutely surrounding this site. A player holding vents, a player going down ramp, a player on the flank. There's almost nothing that Matios can do except for maybe hit a 1-tap. That sure makes it a little bit easier, but is he going to be ready for this player around the corner? Destiny holding for this pull back, holding in an off angle, and yeah, there's no way you're winning that fight. Destiny will find the last, and Paquetá, they find a third, a well-earned third as well.
Yeah, that is an important third. I said, you know, if they can get themselves 5 on the half, it would be perfect considering the situation they found themselves in. So let's look at the economy now. It's only 3 rounds that they've won, but SWS have won a round with 0 players alive. So if they, obviously after their bye here, they're gonna have not much for the last round of the half if Paquetá win it. So they could be guaranteed that 5. This is the all-important round that sort of tells the tale whether Paquetá actually have a chance in this game. Because if it's 12-3, I would say SWS, they really have a shot on the CT side. If it's 10-5, it's anybody's for me. So it's going to be a tough one. David, of course, is really the only one doing the hard work for Paquetá at the moment. Obviously, they had a couple of frags around and about, but he's the one that's positive at the moment. So he's had a couple of really critical multi-frags toward B and toward the vent dives and stuff like that to stop SWS from, you know, pulling too far ahead. But yeah, now we'll get started in this round. I'll be interested to see if SWS do anything different now after losing a few in this, losing the majority in the end of this first half.
Yeah, if they can find these last two, that definitely tells a much different story. And Ketex is really starting us off with some great kills, or excuse me, kill outside. He goes for another, but can't hit the shot as he has to fall away from the player on top of Silo. Mateos getting a little bit of damage, but no trade, so that is an opener for Paquetá, and they usually do a lot better when they find those openers. I know, crazy to say, but when you get kills, the game becomes easier. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, and that's one of the first few times that Ketex has actually had an opening pick on the AWP as well. He's had quite a few mid-round, but opening picks have been hard to come by for him, for sure. So Mateos is looking in toward the mini position at the moment. They might be going in for an A split, but Ketex is going aggressive even further with the AWP, and look at these team plays coming in from Paquetá. That's a lot better from them. I like to see that. That was really well played from everyone on the team, pushing toward ramp together as a group there, clearing out everyone, and then the multi-frag as well coming in elsewhere toward the A site, I believe, to stop that from happening. So, as I mentioned, SWS's economy, look where it is right now. It's literally only pistols. That's actually less than I expected. I thought they might have one rifle, but it's only pistols. Shay might be able to go for a Galil. He will, but it's only going to have one flashbang with it. So they have finally whittled it down in the final round of the half.
Yeah, it took them 14 rounds to get there, but finally arrived at the place they need to beat Shay. He's not actually going to be where he needs to be as he misses the jump outside. Well, we won't talk about it anymore. Happens to everyone. But yeah, Paquetá, if they can find this 5th, which, you know, statistically it should be pretty easy for them, it definitely makes the second half a lot easier. Nithon, he's in a good position to punish these players dropping down from outside, but will he be caught looking the right way at the right time? No, Che is actually able to find it with the Galil, and this is getting dangerous. Destiny will swing outside and clean it up, though, bring this to the 1 versus 3 Reeks. He is hearing one of these players at least, and that actually, whoa, the way the AK dropped down was, I mean, pixel perfect.
That's really handy as well. I mean, he'd have to walk back up the ramp, you know, in a much longer fashion to actually grab that as well. Ooh. He actually gets the first as well. This clutch is now doable. IDK coming in from ramp. He'll throw a flash. His position is now revealed, and he does not know where Rex is, because the last information would be that he's toward the right-hand corner, and Rex gets the 3K clutch. How about that for a clutch? With the Tech 9, just starting it off, taking down David, who did get another multi-frag in that round, by the way, I'll mention. And in the end, it wasn't enough, because that Tech 9 frag, and as you say, the AK somehow rebounding off to the right to his feet, so he didn't have to go the long way around to pick it up. Really won him that clutch, and it's not something that can possibly be replicated, because that is basically down to luck, the way that gun dropped onto his feet. But still, he had to hit the headshots, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a beautiful clutch coming through. I didn't think it would be possible. I was literally, you know, saying like, oh, it's the 1v3. It looks like Paquetá are going to find this important 5th on their half. But, I mean, hey, when magic happens, magic happens. If the man wants a clutch, give him the clutch. He earned it. But anyway, that's the first half, and I'm a little bit worried going into the second half for Paquetá. They had some strong rounds in there, but a lot of those strong rounds were spearheaded by David just getting multi-kills. And I feel like multi-kills are a lot more difficult. Well, I don't know if I fully agree with what I was about to say, but I feel like it's somewhat difficult to get the multi-kills on your attacking side just because you have so many more angles you need to cover. You have so many more positions that the T's could be in. It's not just, hey, scope down sight, aim at a spot, and then just hit some nice headshots. It's now, oh, you have to predict where they're coming. You have to dodge all this utility. There's, you know, pretty much everything to do and so little time to do it. So can David continue to drag his team to these round victories? That is the question.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I found most interesting about the beginning of that first T half is the fact that SWS, Paquetá's crossfires on the CT side weren't really working. So perhaps that's something, you know, SWS, maybe they've, you know, scouted exactly how they play, so they know what to peek first, what their setups are like. But at the same time, the way SWS managed to clean it out, you still got to hit the shots, was incredibly impressive. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Paquetá can fight back because they need to. I mean, we always say, I mean, everyone says these days, don't they, that 11-4 is one of the most dangerous leads in Counter-Strike. So it's have to see whether that pattern repeats itself because SWS, they've shown a good T side. CT side is a whole different ball game, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that the lead gets any better is that if you're at like, I don't know, 15-0, but that's kind of a little bit too difficult to find. I'm sure SWS, they're feeling really, really good going into this second half. I mean, David, of course, is actually leading the server in kills right now. He's been having a stellar game despite being on the team with only 4 rounds at the half. But SWS, they have a lot of players close to him as well. I mean, you think of, Clutchmaster himself, Reeks, who is at now 14 kills. You think of Matios, who's at 14 as well, and Che, who's at 12. All players who have been integral in finding openings. Che, usually the player that will just run through a smoke, run through a door, and find an opener or two and then get traded. Matios, the player who's always in an amazing spot to find the trade, the player that's always ready to swing out and punish whoever tries to punish you. And then, Rakes, who is just damn good, So,
absolutely. Beforehand, if we were to look at the map stats, we would see that this map technically, if you go by paper stats alone, it is actually the best map for both these two teams. So it's I always thought there was a slight suspicion that SWS might be able to do something, but I tell you what, 11-4 is not what I expected. So I expected an even half if it was going to be close, but they've really put up a fantastic face so far in this game. But anyway, looks like we will be going live into the second half and into the second pistol. SWS are buying up a lot of interesting things because for the first time we're seeing a CZ and dualies on this CT pistol. That's a combination that you don't see too often. Rex obviously has a grenade with that, and Capello has a grenade with his as well. So maybe a stack coming in to do a lot of damage without weaponry.
Yeah, the dualies. I feel like I've seen dualies in at least one pistol round on pretty much every map of CS that I've either casted or even watched in the past week. I don't know why they're having such a resurgence, but I haven't seen them actually do any work yet, so I'm interested to see if on the back of one of the top performing players for SWS, they get anything done. But that's a quick dink onto Reeks, and there go the dualies. Nothing from them. Mercoli, though, he does have El Clasico on him, so he's going to try to get something done. And he will find one before he falls. David trades him out before he takes a headshot to his head. Now it's a 2 versus 3. The bomb does go down, so it is a retake as the CTs try to overrun the B site.
Yeah, and I mean, Nathan was spotted as well there, so that's information for Matios, and he's the player with the defuse kit, so he needs his frag. It can't be dropped elsewhere, and they will clean it up nicely. Che will switch to the Glock and get a free frag toward IDK. So that is the CT pistol for SWS, and they keep this run going. That is great stuff from them. I mean, as you say, the dualies, if they were baited in toward ramp for Ricky Oli to get that 1 frag, I think he probably would have hoped for 2 in that situation, as the dualies kind of gave up the ghost early after that grenade. Peeking a little bit over peaking in that situation, but they were actually set up really nicely, SWS, for that pistol, weren't they? I mean, having 2 toward ramp once they got the information, 1 was on one side next to the little edge of the ramp, and 1 was in the close box as well, so they had a crossfire for the complete switcheroo, and yeah, that's pretty remarkable. We now got the second half coming in, or second half force spy coming in, I should say, for Paquetá. Of course, they did get the bomb planted, so 3 Galils and 2 pistols, that can really be a buy that could get them back into this game. If SWS find this one, though, I basically say, honestly, write this first map off.
Yeah, this is... it's such a dangerous position for Paquetá. Pistol round lost again. Site being overrun. That said, this is a good opener. If they can find the second player to follow, if they can punish him, that is exactly what they need. And they do. He's looking the wrong way, caught staring at the door, hoping to find that player off. But Riccioli, he's in the right position to find
nice.
1-2. Matios keeps him alive somehow, some way. He turns his back to the T player, but his teammate is there to save the day. And now it's IDK in a 1 versus 2. We've already seen 1 clutch in this map, but we will not see another, at least not from IDK right here, as we do see another round for SWS. A very, very nice start to the round for Paquetá. A beautiful site take, but sadly, that's all there was.
Yeah, I mean, the way SWS played that duel in next to double doors there was absolutely superb. I mean, once the first swing came in, the look to trade from Paquetá came in as well. But the fact they had another player coming in from Secret 2 on top of the stairs meant that, you can't aim at 2 people at once. So that was just so nicely dealt with. And once they got the information toward IDK on the back of the site, they just waited for his teammate to come in through single door and clear him out. So more fantastic teamwork from SWS. And they are on the edge of possibly taking this map pick away from Paquetá. That would be truly remarkable. And we're going to get to see now if Paquetá can actually win this force buy. 3 Galils and 2 AKs. It's not really a force buy, it's a full buy. And Nithon has already won a duel toward Matthias.
Yeah, that's a good opener for them. And Ketex is going to trade another. Also, wanted to highlight, this is actually the pick of SWS, but...
Yeah, my bad.
No,
my
you're
bad.
fine, because this is usually the map that Paquetá pick. This is their most common first pick for best of 3. So it is surprising how one-sided this has been. It may have not been their pick in this specific best of 3, but it's still a map that they are historically good on. So the fact that it is... so one-sided is insane. That said, this round is very one-sided in their favor, but Che is going to find the first. He has full health, a smoke, and a molly, so it's definitely doable. It's not in Che's favor in any way, shape, or form, but a retake is feasible.
Yeah, and he has some utility to work with as well. He has a defuse kit. He is shifting all the way behind back toward lobby, so he does have a slight chance in this one. Nithon does have a Molotov for the bomb if it ever gets to that position, so I think Paquetá are going to be okay, but Che does have a chance for this clutch. He just misses the timing toward Nithon as he shifts towards CT vent, but he knows that angle is a possibility. IDK will probably swing to trade as soon as that comes in, but the timing is not in his favor. Nithon swings first to look for that information, and Che gets taken down. So that's a big round for Paquetá to try and keep this one going. And they at least will break the economy of SWS. They obviously still have an org, and that's been bought up straight away toward Gafolo. So I'm maybe a little bit surprised that he commits to that buy immediately, because, I mean, look at what everyone else has on the team right now. And there will be a tech pause coming in. Maybe that is the reason. Maybe that was an accidental, an accidental full buy there. Obviously, there are buy-ins for that sort of thing. Maybe he's tapped that by accident. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, for SWS, that is probably the first round they've lost in a while that I would say was not necessarily their fault, but one where Paquetá have actually done a good job of teaming up, basically, if you get what I mean. There's been a lot of times, as you mentioned yourself, in the past in this game where Paquetá have really sort of gone one by one. Even on the CT side, there weren't really many successful trades for them, it felt like. So yeah, it's nice to see them actually trying to build up some economy and build up some rounds now. A little tech delay is because Riccioli has dropped out the server, so hopefully it won't be too long before he returns. I believe there's just a timeout for him, nothing more than that. So if we get more information on it, we can share that for you. But yeah, as we've seen so far already, Paquetá, they're getting a little bit of form back at least.
Yeah, they're definitely seeming like they are more comfortable and more awake on their attacking side. That's, of course, because you can control the entire pace of the game, because you can control where the fights happen and how you take them as a team. The T side is a lot easier to control, I would say, everything when it comes to just CS in general, but SWS, they're still looking good. I mean, we've seen, 2 rounds from SWS in this half in Paquetá. They only have that one, which was the previous one they took the victory on. So it's still, I mean, you're not out of hot water if you're Paquetá until you reach double digits, really, on the on the round count. I wouldn't say that Paquetá are really in a spot where they are somewhat safe or filling me with a lot of confidence until they hit those 10 rounds. And as of right now, I don't know if that's going to be possible, because SWS, they still look like they want to fire on all cylinders in this next round. We do see only one gun for them, that being Gafolo, who bought up the AUG, as you were saying.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure if that is a misbuy or not. I mean, obviously, we know the timeout reason now is for Riccioli dropping out the server, but yeah, it's a tough one, because you've bought up the org fully. Ryx has also bought up the 5-7 with a bit of utility. So what do you really choose to buy here on Matthias and Che? Of course, they're probably thinking to themselves, okay, we've got a decent round buffer here. We can afford to maybe throw in a force buy and see what happens to maybe catch Paquetá off guard. But still, it's every round counts, and it can be important to keep that economy in good stead. So I'll be curious to see what they buy with those 3 other remaining players, because I believe they did have a similar economy, around about 1400, 1800, something like that. So it's most certainly not the best.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, just a difficult position for both of these teams, especially, I mean, more so Paquetá, of course. Um, I don't know if we have an update on the
I'll be
pause
able to let you know
just
if
yet.
there
Yeah,
are updates. I hope for
yeah.
you.
All we
But
know
at the moment,
is back
there's
soon.
been no news. Yeah, all we know is that Ricky Elliot's had a timeout and he'll be back soon. There's no ETA as of yet, but hopefully he'll be back in the server in around a couple of minutes, because I believe I'm just reading right now that he is back in the team speak. So that is something. Hopefully his internet will hold up for the rest of this game, and hopefully he can get rejoined very soon. But yeah, it's obviously interesting to see how Paquetá go forward with this buy as well, with this round, because with just the one gun, the one rifle that will be on Gafolo, if they find it and take it down and then realize the rest are on pistols, they need to make sure they don't get walk into the stack or anything, if that so happens to be the way SWS decide to play it. Of course, IDK does have that AUG recovered onto the T side, probably swapping from one of his SMGs or Galils. So that can always be a handy gun to have on the T side. Of course, a scoped rifle, it is technically, I would say, better than the Krieg these days. You still see teams and players who like the Krieg, especially on maps like Dust 2, etc. But it's kind of be nice to have a scoped rifle on that T side sometimes. But yeah, hopefully it won't be too long before we get underway and see how this one pans out.
It should be just a second here. I guess we have time to talk about some of the other games, or I should say the one other game. We are going to be seeing Sharks versus Isurus a little bit later today. That is the other match in the same bracket. Since we're in a match pause, I can go ahead and pull up that bracket right now, give you guys a little bit of a visual. Who doesn't love visual learning? That will be happening later today. The winners of that will go on to play the winners of this game, and that will be a decider match for who qualifies for the main event. The teams that lose both this game and the game later today will not be out of it, though. There will be elimination match after that and elimination match after that, where they do figure out who will be going home, and then one more match after that to see who qualifies. I think we're almost back into it.
Yeah, two spots in total. So one will come through the upper and one will come through the consolidation final in a couple of days' time. So, as you say, Ricky Ellie has rejoined the server, so we'll be getting back underway very soon. And just as I say that, the freeze time has been cancelled. So the wait is over and we can get going once again. I'll let you know what Ricky Ellie buys. He's already got himself some Kevlar. It will be a full force buy for the other three, I believe, as well. For SWS, I doubt they just want to keep the 5.7 and the AUG on just 2 players. They would surely force buy around it, and they will do just that. 2 deals coming in. Rikieri will be able to purchase a FAMAS, of course. That is obviously 2050 these days, not 2250 like it used to be. And it'll be interesting to see if he can manage to get that into the action. They end up with 2 rifles in the end, do SWS.
Yeah, I'm surprised how little control SWS are concerned with outside. As I say that, they will actually find the opener. There's no smokes outside from the side of Paquetá, so that is a quick punish onto Ketex. And, well, I've never had a team make me eat my words so fast, other than in that moment. I was just like, wow, I'm surprised they're not really worried about outside. And then immediately that's where they find their opener. I guess they knew that, okay, no one was going to be throwing smokes out there, but that's because they were saving all of the utility for a beautiful take towards the A site. 3 quick kills, one of them threw a smoke, and yeah, this round's pretty much already over. You see these 2 SWS players already on the save. Matios, he's all the way down on the B site, hoping to find, anyone who might just be creeping around, and Reeks, he's all the way back in his own spawn. That was a beautiful side take from Paquetá.
Yeah, the one gun that was dropped has been recovered by Matteo, so that's something for SWS. I'll be happy with that save for sure, considering the amount they had in this round to begin with. And after that start came in from Gafolo's AUG, it was quite clear to me that Paquetá just did not want to face that anymore whatsoever, not taking that gamble, and because of that, they didn't take their time or anything. They just decided, okay, let's go straight in toward A as a group, and it worked out nicely because they knew where that AUG was, they found it, and they could take advantage of that one as quickly as possible. Reeks will stay alive, taking down one more Paquetá player. So that is good for SWS. In this round, they will have 2 rifles. Probably put that, maybe down toward the B site and a crossfire to maybe catch out Paquetá if they decide to go for a classic play toward the B site, perhaps. But you'd expect in this sort of round, Paquetá will, put one player in, hunting toward one of these sites, looking for the pistols. If they find the rifles, they will go elsewhere. Of course, the vertical nature of this map can be a little bit scary when you've got rotations coming in very quickly, but still, looks like we're going to possibly actually boost one of those rifles up towards ramp, which is a nice choice.
Ooh, good opener from David. Just spams through the smoke and catches Matios, looking to do the same thing back towards them. And okay, Destiny.
Nice.
That was a crazy shot. That was first bullet through the smoke connects onto the head. And now we have David down on the B site. Absolutely no players here to stop him. So they should get the call sooner rather than later that, hey, you guys can go down vent and just get a completely free B site. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Reeksy's going to try to find some of these players off guard, but he only finds one and a little bit of damage onto another. Che, he's in a good position to find some damage, but all he has is a pistol, so he can only find one before he falls. IDK will trade it out. Now it's Gafolo left in a 1 versus 3 against Rifles. As the bomb drops down to the B site, he's not even on the right site for this retake anymore. And it's probably going to be too much to ask. And yeah, I think he's going to save this AK.
If they went actually toward A in the end there, and everyone was actually around toward A, then that would have been interesting because, of course, Gafolo was in toward Hut and possibly could have denied a plant if they didn't plant safe from Hut. So, yeah, it would have been interesting, but that is for an alternate universe to decide exactly how that one pans out. It will be Paquetá to win out the round. There is a PP Bison in T spawn, so that's an interesting one for Gafolo to see there on the ground, unexpected.
Oh.
But in the end, he'll get cleared out beautifully by David. What a shot that is! That's the AK out of the round. Not the end of the world, because obviously they can buy the next round anyway. That is a very nice shot indeed. And Paquetá now, they're eking ever closer to that 13 of SWS.
Yeah, I think they heard Gafolo running away there. I think David just barely heard the footsteps, and so he was immediately like, hey guys, let's just all sprint to their spawn and take away this rifle. That's a very good call from them. Paquetá definitely, inching closer and closer to an even game. Once again, just these teams are really trying to make me look stupid in front of everyone watching by just making sure that everything I say means nothing. Like I was saying, hey, I don't think there's a way they can come back. Well, they're starting a pretty solid attempt at a comeback right now. They have the first opener towards this side, but it's going to be Gafolo to find 1 and 2. His teammate can't actually do anything to support him. Gafolo, he does pick up the AK, and now he's just trying to dance around ramp, trying to find this last player, and he finds the head. A beautiful 3K from Gafolo to win SWS their 14th. Now they are back in it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, isn't it? We mentioned it earlier that Paquetá got a cheeky round with the pistols, thanks to David, basically, and David alone. And this time it's SWS to make that a possibility. And look at that, they've got 3 AK-47s on the CT side. It just shows how these games can change. You thought Paquetá perhaps were on the comeback trail, but now SWS are back with double the score of Paquetá, and it puts Paquetá's economy as well into a pretty rough spot. So can they bring this one through? It will be a really good start for them in this series. That means it would probably set it up nicely for a decider. You'd expect Paquetá to probably win map 2. But that is for the future, and this is for the now. Some damage exchange toward Kitex, going for a duel on the T side AWP. But for now, no other damage taken.
Yeah, this is also a must-win round for Paquetá. If they lose this, their economy is broken on that map point. So they're definitely going to be putting everything into this round. And Destiny, he is going to be the starter for this team. He's going to find the first 2 and make this into a 3 versus 2, as now Riccioli trades 1 back, and Rix finds another. So this is now the 2 versus 2. This is about as close as it can get for what is most likely a penultimate round if SWS win it. David finds the first. The bomb goes down. Now he has to find the second. A 1v2 for David. If there's anyone who can do it, if there's anyone who Paquetá want in the clutch, it is going to be David with 22 kills on his back. He has been phenomenal, but he has to be more than that to win this clutch. He has to be perfect.
And he's making a lot of noise, Riccioli, as well. That'll just give David all the opportunities he needs to get the timing correctly, and he will do just that. In the end, the noise made by Riccioli was just too easy for David to get the timing on that peak. As soon as those doors opened, an instantaneous headshot. And that is a sort of a game-saving round for Paquetá, to be fair. Of course, they do win it with 1 alive, so the economy is not too great. It forces them down to a Mac 10 and a Galil. But SWS isn't looking too hot either, despite the fact they have 4K, 5K on a couple of players. They're going to go for a half buy, 1 rifle, that's a FAMAS on Che, and 3 Deagles and a 5.7 to surround it. Can they do what they did in the previous?
Yeah, that was a very scary round for Paquetá. If they lost that, it would have been pretty much map life over. But yeah, David, he's the gift that keeps on giving. He's the man who can get things done for your team. But Ketex, he is going to be the man to find the opener in this round. Takes down Gafolo and brings this to a very nice 5 versus 4. Make it a 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2. The kills are all going the way of Paquetá right now. Of course, it is only against pistols, but these are still very nice shots. And now Riccioli and Che alone on the A site as these Paquetá players, they don't even look like they want to get the bomb down just yet. They're just kind of exploring. Ketex is trying to bait the attention from these CT players, give his teammates some easy shots as they're caught looking the wrong way. And that is not going to be a kill for Paquetá. That is Riccioli finding the first. Luckily, the player was tagged down, but I think the information that the CTs are on A should come through. So we will see the bomb rotate towards B as Che finds one.
Yeah, that is the one kill that gives them the information that they know now they can go toward B and have a safe plant. Ketex has even got the vents under control as well. And the damage done to Nithon does pay off in the end because there's a bit of a dink toward him with the outside with the Deagle. And Ketex actually will find Riccioli, so that's one out of the equation. Just leaves Che Omeni out in a 1 versus 3. Can afford to go for it, of course, considering he only has that FAMAS. It maybe would be a gun worth saving, as he has a Deagle as well. But at the same time, you'd probably want an M4 in the next round. There's no real point sticking around, and David has spotted him out. Che's just looking at the floor looking for something, but David's looking for a knife perhaps. But they've spotted each other now. He'll get the frag. David just about takes it. That was a bit cheeky from David. You saw exactly what was going through his mind in that situation. And yeah, we'll have a bit of a CT timeout to come in as well. So SWS timing that one well because they need to make a decision on what to do on this round. It'll be their first big buy as we go into the business end of this game for sure. And yeah, they of course, as I mentioned it many times, Cullen, that when your opponents are on 14, you always feel like you have a really solid chance, even if you're quite a way behind. I mean, your opponent needs 2 rounds, you still feel like you're in the game.
As long as it isn't 15.
As long as it isn't 15, yeah. You feel like you're in it. But let's see how it goes. Paquetá are starting to build up a run of form now. You mentioned it beforehand that this is SWS's pick, but it's a map that Paquetá love and play just as much as any other. So let's see how this one goes now with the AWP back on Gafolo.
Yeah, this is... I mean, if SWS loses this round, it's 10. Their economy is broken for 11. At that point, it's a pretty close game. So... this is, I mean, every round is an important round for Paquetá. There's only so many times I can say this is a really important round. That might have been an important nade if David was able to throw it the right direction, but sadly the hitbox on the red box is just a little bit too wide and makes it a little bit difficult. But we also have a player down towards the B site already, that being both Destiny and 3 other players that join him. So we do see almost a full rotation. We see a big rotation from the SWS squad towards this B site as... Rakes is going to communicate the information of, hey, don't want to alarm you guys, but I do think there's maybe 3 terrorists about to storm the bomb site that I'm here alone on. If you could help me out. And Gafolo, he's like, yeah, I got the free time. I can help you out. So they're going to have to really group up and play together as a team to stop this take.
He's got that FAMAS as well. And he got that FAMAS as well. They're going to break the glass as well toward the B site, and Gafolo at least will get one, but the information has been observed. Oh, Gafolo, he just manages to drop down, and that was very tight. That's a huge amount of information, though, to know that the AWP player is toward dark. That's a horrible position for it. Riccioli's going to peek to help out, though. IDK will take one in return, and there's the FAMAS getting one, which is his job in that scenario. And David and IDK are not really in the situation as of yet to make this one a possibility. 2v4, 25 seconds to go. Can they really do much in this one? David will get one in return. But now the rotations of everyone from SWS will come in. Nice frag from IDK, though. And now they have a chance to get this bomb planted. They don't have a smoke, though, to plant inside, so they need to be careful. Only flashbangs. It will go down safely behind the silo. He's getting shot in the back from double door. Quick trade coming in. David takes it, and Matthias goes. He can't face because the bomb is being planted safe. Now the even 1 versus 1. David against Matthias. Matthias does have a defuse kit. David has a bit of a utility, but can he use it in time? So it's a long duel, but David will win it out, and what a crucial round that could be. Double digits on the board for Paquetá. How tight was that, Cullen?
Oh, I need a moment to untense myself. My body's, I mean, scrunched up into a pretzel there because of how stressful that 1 versus 1 was. Peppering each other with bullets. Ooh, all right, I'm back. Man, that really put me on the edge of my seat. I'm sure that the Paquetá players spectating David felt the exact same way. I'm sure it was dead silence in the team speak until right when he got that kill and they exploded, because that was a very, very important 1v1 and a very, very scary 1 versus 1. Yeah, oh yeah, 2v4. I mean, yeah. Paquetá, yeah, that's the thing about their rounds, is that they are winning round after round, but a lot of them are coming down to a very, very close margin. So SWS, they may be, just a step away from taking one of these in their favor, but it also shows the resilience of the Paquetá squad, winning out these important clutches, winning out situations that on paper they should be losing. It's a really, really respectable, I would say, resilience coming through from the Paquetá side. It's really nice to watch. 2 kills come in from both sides within a nanosecond of each other. Quickly traded out. That is a beautiful shot from Matios. And Che is going to drop, trying to help out, but that's 2 kills for the side of Paquetá, and Nithon, he's in a good position to find this third as well, meaning Reeks is now all alone. We have seen him clutch out a 1v3 before, but he didn't have a deagle. Well, actually, he did have a deagle, and then he found the opener with an AK, and then he clutched it out. So maybe this is possible. It's just the question of whether or not he wants to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a defuse kit, and obviously it was just a half-life SWS in this round, so it's not too much to work with. Bomb will go down in plenty of time for Paquetá. And yeah, SWS, they're looking to just sort of settle the situation at the moment. Of course, we've got 9 Brazilian players on the server, of course, and David, the one Chilean, is putting in a fantastic performance so far. 27 and 15 as Paquetá seal that round comfortably with 2 players alive. He has really been the driving force behind Paquetá's first half, where they only got, 4 rounds, and their second half as well. I mean, 27 and 15, that is a beautiful scoreline. He's been the only player positive for basically the entire game when it comes to the KD for Paquetá. And now just 3 rounds behind. SWS on their full buy with as much utility as they could ever wish to have, and their AWP as well. Can we go even closer in this opening map?
Yeah, this is almost crazier when you remember that SWS won the first 2 rounds of the second half as well. They won the pistol and they won the second round. They converted the second round. So, I mean, SWS, they were in a position to really close this out extremely quick. And this kind of sounds like I'm insulting SWS, saying, like, why didn't you close it out? But it's more so to highlight, how amazing Paquetá's comeback has been, how strong their clutches have been, how strong their site takes have been. Paquetá looking like not only a different team on this second half, but also just like they have a completely different mentality. The mental fortitude coming through from the Paquetá squad is absolutely stellar, and it is definitely what is winning them a lot of these rounds. But Matios, he's in a good position to maybe win his squad a round. Right in the corner, he's going to be able to catch not 1, not 2, but all of the players off guard. He only finds 2 kills, but that's so much information for his team. We are going to see the drop down, but it's ready. It's held. K-Tex is in the right spot to punish the drop down. Reeks, is he going to be ready for the peak, though? He gets a little bit overzealous. Gafolo will trade 1 and 2, and now it's all onto K-Tex, the man who found the kill on the drop down in Vent. He has to find 2 more in this round. He has to find a 3K. He has to find a 1 versus 2. And the worst part is the bomb is not even in his possession.
Yeah, Gafolo dropped it on that first of his 2 frags. The second one was particularly impressive, I have to say. Gafolo, this is a big round for SWS. They don't have a defuse kit, so they're letting Paquetá and K-Tex pick up the bomb. They did not know where he was residing and going for the plant. He has to come off of it, though, and there's only 6 seconds to go. He's coming off it again as well. He knows he will be peaked, and he'll get the first frag, but Gafolo, aggressive on the AWP. Big 3K for him. That was, I mean, he had sort of stuck in 2 minds, wasn't he? I mean, that was so difficult. When the double doors are being opened and stuff like that, you know you're going to get peaked, especially on that final plant, because, Paquetá, or SWS, sorry, they're going to think, okay, there's a 6-second plant here. He has to hold it, otherwise the round's over. So he plays for the frags, knowing that he might get double peaked in that situation. Almost works out. But this time, Gafolo reaches those 20 kills, and he's too strong on that one.
Yeah, the economy is in an interesting spot, though. SWS, they only have 1 player live at the end of that, and they haven't had, very many strong rounds in the second half. So economically, they are still in a pretty strange place. They do have the saved over op from Gafolo. He did win that round with the big green, but they only have 1, M4 and then a FAMAS. And you know, then in SMG and whatever Che decides to buy, most likely another FAMAS. There it is. Speak of the devil. So this is this round right here isn't completely death for Paquetá. It is match point, but Paquetá, they have, you know, a pretty similar economy to the side of SWS. They could definitely still take this one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is obviously it's a big round for many reasons, mostly because SWS are on match point. But you know, if Paquetá actually take it, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't edge ever closer to overtime. And SWS will have what, 1 or 2 full buys, but maybe barely even 2, as we end this game. But Manchester at least will get a start traded immediately though by IDK. That's something for SWS to work with. They've got some information and they know that IDK is tagged after that as well. So that is going to be an interesting one with that HP on Paquetá. It's in a big advantage now for SWS. They have got control towards Secret, control in inverted commas. It's just the stairs at the moment. But you've got the MP9 hiding down toward B if they do decide to plant on that site. Minute left on the clock. And what decision will Paquetá choose to make? David has somehow found his way toward heaven, though, and that catches off Gafolo on the AWP, rotating all the way in. And now he can go for another peek, perhaps. Riccioli's about to shift into the angle with the AWP. David just misses the shot. And Shea answers back on the FAMAS, traded by Kutex. And look at the fakes coming in. David just about gets the tag, but no more than that. 2 versus 2 to the end of this game. Nithon will catch Rix, trying to make his way up the vent. But the bomb is planted, and Riccioli, despite the fact he has a kit, he's only got 15 HP. This has to be a save, you'd think.
Yeah, there's no way he goes for this with his HP, and yeah, he's just going to fall back into his own spawn, hold on to that op. That was a little bit of a scary round for both of those teams there, the trades just going back and forth, but I think that round really hinges on David making his way through ramp up towards heaven and finding that backstab. I was worried watching him go through all of that he wasn't actually going to check outside. He was instead going to try to clear the site first, but luckily for him, he was able to sniff out that last player. Unlucky for Riccioli, though, he doesn't save the op, and that means that this next round is going to be pretty much a full save from SWS. You know, letting Paquetá get to 13 is not that bad, but you don't want to let Paquetá get any more rounds, so SWS, they're just going to, I think, full save into this one, maybe buy down to 2,000, and then prepare to close it out in the next, but we'll see if Paquetá let them.
You know, I said that they might have 2 full buys. It's going to be 1 full buy for SWS and whatever they have on the final round of the game. Of course, obviously, if Paquetá get past these pistols on this one, Gafolo has a Zeus. I'd be curious to see if he can make anything happen with that and maybe catch off Paquetá and possibly bring his team over to the first map victory. But yeah, Paquetá, they've at least done a good job of making this one close. They're definitely warmed up into this series right now, and they put themselves in a very good spot for map 2, you'd say. But SWS, if they can just bring this through, they've at least got that bit of relaxation that at least we do have a confirmed map 3 and we have a good chance of possibly stealing away what would be, at least from rankings, from a ranking point of view, a big upset against Paquetá.
Ooh, I like this aggression outside from Paquetá, trying to get a lot of map control, but Reeks is also in a good position to punish if he catches them on a good timing. Also, David just kind of catching these players really off guard. IDK is going to hold the line and find 2 pushing through hut as well. So this is pretty much cleared, sealed the round for Paquetá, really making sure they're able to close this one out. There are still 2 players alive. Make that 1. But there's not really much they can do, especially when IDK is ready for the peak. So Paquetá, yeah, 13th. And SWS, this is going to be where they really make the push for the win.
Yeah, this is where it's really nervy for SWS. I mean, you've had such a fantastic first half, and now you're in a situation where, sure, you've had a couple of match points, but for a fact this is your last proper big buy on round number 29. So it's a tough one. It's a tough sort of situation mentally, but I'm sure they've been here before. They can do it. David has hit 30 frags, by the way, I should mention. So he's really been the king and the leader of Paquetá to make their way back into this first map. Of course, the only Chilean in the server around the 9 Brazilians we have playing today in this best of 3. He's showing that Chilean CS is not something to be messed with. Aggression toward ramp for Rix. Will David take it down? He will. 31st frag, and more aggression from SWS. Is that really needed in such an important round such as this? Goodness me. I'm really questioning that decision. It was such a slow piece of lobby aggression as well. Gafolo's going in for a trade on the AWP, but already a 5v3 for Paquetá. What a way to lose those opening 2 kills.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I guess it's good to change something up when they've been, running into these sites and having really good site takes. It makes sense why you would want to trade and change something up, but it doesn't go quite too well. Also, the kill does come through on the Opera of Gafolo, so now it's the 4 versus 2, and they realize that absolutely no one is on the A site, especially now that Matios is dead outside. They know the last player is down towards B, so they are going to plant towards that A site, and they're looking for this hunt pretty fast already, at least a little bit. Ketex is trying to figure out with the economy of some of these players, especially David, they can really go for this hunt, and if they are able to take this rifle out of Riccioli's hands, then it's almost a guaranteed overtime. But
Yeah,
can
this
they
is a
get
huge
it?
hunt. Absolutely huge hunt. It's a must to take this gun out of the hands because they know SWS's economy is not good. You go for the full spray, but David, 33rd frag of the game. I have to say, this is an incredibly impressive performance from him. I've become a new. He has a new fan today in me, that's for sure. That's such fantastic work to clear out that far-running player. And of course, it means that they do have a rifle on SWS, but look at the buy. I mean, 3 MP9s, a scout, just the 1 M4. This is scary, of course. We've seen rounds 1 with less for both these teams so far, but we're into round 30. Can Paquetá grab this one and make our way to overtime? Let us find out.
This is. Ooh, I mean, it's getting close. It's getting a little bit scary for both of these squads. SWS, they don't have the worst buy in the world. Of course, they know that they're not going to buy in the next one, so they just put their entire economy into it. And also, that nade was really strong. Ketex tagged down to 52, a little bit more damage onto David as well. That's a really good start to this round, but can they finish it off? Matios, he's in a beautiful position to maybe find something, but no, he gets cleared out and misses his initial spray. Now it's all on to Che. He's right around the corner, and he does find a dink onto Nithon, but nothing else. Damage being done, but they can't close the kills, and the kills are what pay the bills in this game. So this is looking dire for SWS. This is looking like we're going to an overtime, especially when David finds the first. Reeks finds 1, finds 2, but can he find any more? No, Destiny will find the kill before, or excuse me, after finding the back of his own teammate's head. So now Riccioli is going to peek with a knife out, and we will be going to overtime.
Yeah, that was incredibly clean by Paquetá in the end. I'm impressed with the way they dealt with that because SWS had the positions, in that sort of that buy, in that sort of situation. It's MP9s, it's scouts and stuff like that. Their positioning was probably the best they could ever hope for, considering the play that Paquetá chose to do. They had player close towards secret, they had another player close from the vents coming in, but they picked out the angles. And in the end, it was way too strong. And I'm in the comeback from Paquetá. That is 34 in regulation for David. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing this overtime. Now, this could be a bit of a barn burner now we've reached this stage. SWS, for sure. They'll be disappointed that they have not managed to bring this one through.
Yeah, on map 1, no less. We have at least one more map after this, so we're going to definitely be a little bit tired at the end of this one. And I'm sure these players are already getting a little bit worn out just with how hectic this map has been. I mean, 11-4 the first half. Paquetá answered back with 11 rounds in the second half to SWS's 4 on their second half. So this is, I mean, that's the nature of overtime. They have the exact same halves just swapped, but I mean, this is been as close as it gets. I mean, Paquetá, in order to win this out, they've had to win multiple, 1vx's, multiple clutches as well. So I don't think we could have got a better game if we wanted. I think this is about as good as it gets. Anyway, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back for overtime. It's just going to be a little 3-minute break. There's something we have to fix real quick on the production side, so we will be back in probably a minute or two. So see you in just a second. switch.
And welcome back to the beginning of overtime between SWS and Paquetá Gaming. Paquetá have made a fantastic recovery to bring us to this position, mostly thanks to David, of course, with the 34 frags in regulation. Great stuff from him, and we're getting started in this overtime. Red damage exchanged already from SWS. They'll be disappointed not to have taken this one through and already have this first map in the bag. It is their pick, of course, but Paquetá, they love Nuke as well, so this was always going to be close. It has proved to be just that. Some aggression toward outside to start us off, but there's already a smoke play coming in. Destiny, he's full blind by that. But Matios, he still will go down. Goffolo will trade it, and he'll catch almost a second as well, but that's information at least.
Yeah, that's important information. I'm surprised we don't see anyone rotating down to the B site just yet. I think they know that, only 2 players were outside. Most likely the bomb is elsewhere, probably still in lobby, and that is a correct call. So they're going to hold the line. And more importantly, Che is on a very, very good flank. He should find one for free here, but he's going to practice some trigger discipline, figure out where the other players are. He knows there's at least one more here, that being David. So he's just going to stand still and not over peek. As I say that, he actually goes for the peek, finds one more. He's finding a third, and now it's Nithon all alone. The swing from Che isn't ready for the last player sitting here, but Nithon, he has to win a crazy 1 versus 2, and it's just not going to happen as Goffolo. He finds a second in the round, and SWS, they finally find another CT round in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is, isn't it? I mean, you've been looking for that CT round, I think, since 15-11. You get to overtime, and you win your first CT round. Typical Counter-Strike, that is the way it is. But yeah, still a really, really nice 3K from Che. Very impressive stuff from him. And it basically wins SWS that round in his own hands. But yeah, that's a big opening round for their confidence as well, having struggled to get that 16 for so long. Of course, it doesn't complete the game, but it at least
they
gets
saw
them
that.
a little bit of a round. Katex, beautiful opener toward Matias. That is a headshot to boot as well. Taking out a 13 HP, of course, in response, but still, it gives Paquetá a really critical opener on the T side, of course. Going for that AWP, which they did use quite a bit in regulation, but quite often it was just the 5 rifles, so maybe something that SWS weren't necessarily expecting.
Yeah, that early pick was, I mean, just a millisecond away from being a beautiful play from Matios. He almost got down secret completely unchecked, and it would have been almost a free kill catching those players off guard, but they barely catch the tip of his head as he jumps over. And now Paquetá Gaming, with this player lead, are going to be making their way towards ramp. The B site is completely open, so it should be an easy plant for them. Che, he will find a kill onto the player that was top hut outside, but KTX is going to trade as well as Rakes tries to come down secret. KTX in a good position to find some of these players coming through bathroom, but he can't quite connect the shot. David will find the first jump across as he's trying to bait out these shots. Che takes a bullet to the side, to the elbow, and IDK is going to find this kill. Nice and easy. Yeah. Che all alone now. 20 health, and IDK closes it out. 16 all. Overtime already going very like the regulation as a very close game.
Yeah, I mean, we could be in for the long haul here, couldn't we? Because we've seen a couple of, games in the South America region recently, in not even, this qualifier, but other matches as well. Really go on for a long time. So, hopefully we're going to win us soon. But, it makes it all the more exciting the longer we go on, of course. And, of course, there is a plenty of economy for both teams. Of course, I don't believe this is 10k overtime in this qualifier. So we will be we'll have plenty of economy and to not worry about any ecoing or any forces, on the final round of the CT half. So they'll be fine. And that is a beautiful opener from Goffolo, but he gets traded so quickly by Nithon. So that is close indeed. Matchup will get one in response, but Nithon, again, even trades across the board. 3 versus 3 still. And look at this. Look where Che is. He's behind the action.
How is this happening?
By Nithon. That was his crazy positioning from him. But in the end, after all that madness, again, it's even. And we're back into a 2 versus 2. AWP will be swapped to Nithon. He gets a duel toward outside. Spots Wikioli. Wikioli just gets away. Back toward Garage. And now the round will at least settle down a little bit further.
That was a really good flash, but no connection on the shots for Wikioli. This is just... It feels like the teams have just, in chat said, like, hey, should we just all go outside and fight outside for this round? And agreed to it. It was crazy how much everyone stuck around outside there. But Nithon, he is going to find Wikioli sticking around maybe a little bit longer than he should have. And now Reeks, he is left alone in the 1v2. We have seen him win out clutches before. He did have a beautiful 1 versus 3, but he's not going to be looking the right way as Nithon will find that kill. And Paquetá, they take the first half of overtime. 2 rounds to 1 round of SWS, bringing them to 17.
Was that an ace, or am I seeing things? Was that a 5k? Was it 4?
Oh.
I didn't see. I think it might have been an ace. I'm not entirely sure, but still, he's had a fantastic round there, picking up the AWP at the end. That was a beautiful one for Paquetá to take a lead, and that, if I'm not mistaken, is that their first lead in the entirety of this map? I think it is. I think it is. So that shows how much their comeback has really been successful on that. Kutex going for the advanced angle toward the top of Garage, but he just gets absolutely deleted by Matios. SWS are angry after that previous round, and they're just going for the pure aim duels. That's what worked earlier. It's working again. 5 versus 2. Just down to David and IDK. David has been the hero in this game so far for Paquetá, but there's not much he'll be able to do about this one because SWS have found a clear A site.
Yeah, that is, I mean, it's pretty much over. David, though, he is going to go ahead and show why he is the top frag for his team. Find 2 quick kills, 2 beautiful kills, and now it's IDK all alone. David tried to make it a little bit easier, but it's still too tall of an order in SWS. They are going to bring us to the tie yet again. 17 to 17 this time.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Paquetá take the lead for the first time. I mean, it wasn't for long, was it? SWS, you're not leading us. This is not right. We've been ahead the whole game. We're going to peg you back straight away. And they'll do just that. 17 all, as you say. And as we always say, obviously, in these overtimes, just to confirm, it is first and 19. If we are 18 all, we do go to a second overtime. Both teams at full strength. Be curious to see how it works out for them.
Hopefully, I mean, it really comes down to who wins this round right here. If they win it, they're of course on the overtime match point, and then it's, you know, either forcing another overtime or they take the win. That's a good opener from IDK. Riccioli will trade it back, and already we see such fast-paced aggression from both of these teams. Overtime has been so insanely, you know, fast-paced. You can tell both of these teams are very, not in their own head, but very anxious to close this out. They've had such a close, you know, first and second half that they both want to just try and find the lead over the other team, and they will do anything they can to get it. That's a good kill from Nithon, but he can't find anything else. Ketex is good for the first, but an op in hand. The molly will force Reeks out, and he finds that kill as well. This is now doable. Does he have the time for the defuse, though? He can't find this last player, and he realizes there's no time. Gafolo has played the time very, very well, and he will have the kill onto Ketex, taking that op out of play, which doesn't matter due to the economy, but that means SWS find match point first yet again in overtime.
Yep, they had one, or they had a multiple at 15-11, and now they have one more at 18-17. That was a really nice round from SWS. A really nice attempt, though, from Kutex, I have to say. That was that was quite possible in the end. I mean, he had a defuse kit. The bomb, as you don't know if you saw it, but the bomb was actually planted not in a usual spot. It was sort of in the wallbang spot, if you get what I mean, where you sort of spray through hut without having to face to actually take him down. So, you know, if he held it and the spray was a little bit off, who knows? Maybe he would have actually won that round for his team, but at the end he went in for the duel, and the time was low, and it didn't work out for him. SWS, again, aggressive control toward outside. They're making their way down secret. Could this be the play that wins them their map pick? It's going to be very close because Paquetá are rotating players into hell.
Yeah, this is going to be an all-out brawl again. It looks like they want to take ramp control, and David, he is going to be tested. That's a good jump across, but David, he holds his tongue, he waits for the second peek, and he finds a good first kill. So first kill goes the way of Paquetá. What else can they find? The flash isn't good, and the flick up is from David. He finds damage onto Riccioli. No kill, but damage is more than enough. Tags him down to 12 health, and now it's going to be the Opper of Paquetá tested. We have the double ops. Ketex is good for the first. He's looking for more. He has to reposition, and David, off of that kill, is actually going to get aggressive as a kill comes through towards the A site. IDK, though, is in a beautiful position to shut this down with one, and almost the second he takes a tiny tag through the wall from the op, but 2 kills come in within seconds, and it's now double overtime as Paquetá ties up 18 again.
Typical. I mean, that's sort of the thing you expect, isn't it? These games never go simply, never one overtime. It always seems to be multiple. But yeah, that was really nicely played by Paquetá there for sure. The fact that I feel like as soon as SWS had that disadvantage where they had, you know, one player down and one player on 12 HP, it was basically all on Rex's shoulders. Like, you know, you have to be the one to do the work here. Unfortunately, you could only get one. And you get straight underway with this second overtime. Nathan will spot Che toward outside on top of that box. He did spot ahead, so he knows that's a possibility. Okay, trained on that angle, and he will take that opener. So that is the frag to get started. Magios will answer back toward Nithon, and Rexwell found David through a smoke as well. So they got an advantage, but look at that health. 6 HP combined on 2 players.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know. Still enough to win a round, maybe. But also, maybe not. That's a cool thing about CS. Is sometimes you win rounds, sometimes you lose rounds. This is why I get on DreamHack. I have really smart analysis. Like, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But more importantly than the beautiful analysis I just came up with is SWS Gaming taking control of ramp, looking like they're gearing up for a B take. We do have not one but 2 players in a good position to rotate towards B, but Matios is actually going to find the player creeping around in secret. He won't find anyone else, as IDK will put him into an early grave, but that's a lot of information for SWS. That means that they know now that they can head towards the B side. Most likely only one player is here, but the problem is it's Ketex, and he's been opping quite well this entire game, but he can't find anything. The opener is not there. Actually, excuse me, he did find that kill. It looks like he didn't even shoot, but I was wrong. He finds the kill onto Gafolo, and now Rex is just going to watch IDK walk through this smoke and put a bullet in his head. SWS, they win the first round of double overtime, but we've seen that can really mean anything.
Yeah, another lead for SWS. Refusing to let Paquetá get to that one lead they've had so far in this game. Only that one round at 17-16. They've stayed level or ahead since. And yeah, that was... I really felt like IDK had a really good chance in that clutch because obviously the HPs weren't full. But when you walk through a smoke, it always gives the advantage to the T. Rex did look in the right spot, so comfortable in the end. And now we get to see that Paquetá, a lot of damage done early on. Look at that grenade, 60 and 65 HP already. A lot of tags coming in, and already Matios, so they're not going to take any notice of that whatsoever. Easy entry for him toward Nithon. Their headshots on the entries on the T side, of course. Don't forget, SWS's T side was 11-4, so they know how to play this T side. To have Paquetá notice anything that they can try and adjust with. Destiny will take Matios down, makes it a 4 versus 4, and we're even again.
Yeah, that opener was really nice. They bait out shots from that outside player. I believe it was Nithon, with a player on top of Silo, and then just push him with the players that took outside control. There's really nothing he could have done there. It's a really nice way to find that opener, but then, of course, they are punished for maybe sticking around outside a little bit longer than they should have, just open to too many angles. But Destiny, he is going to find the first before he quickly gets traded out by Che. K-Tex is good for 1. Is he good for any more, though? No, the Molly will keep them at bay, though, and that is a good play from him, using the utility extremely smartly, and IDK is ready for Gafolo around the corner. Gafolo finds one, thinks that the angle is clear, but it is not, and now Reeks, he has to fight for control of the bomb and fight for a 1 versus 2.
Oh, he gets the first, though, and that's really good, yeah, because Ketex, sure, I mean, he's got the health advantage, but he's on the AWP, so maybe Rex's health of 16 won't matter too much. Problem is, though, 18 seconds to go. Can he get toward this site and plant carefully? Or the decision has been made by Ketex to hold the angle or go down toward vents, actually, and that's the information. He can drop down safely. Don't take full damage, my friend. You will go down on only 16 HP. Grenades will come in, though, and it dunks him. What a grenade from Ketex. And doesn't even need to use the AWP. And in the end, the 16 HP comes back to bite SWS. Nice attempt, but smart play from Ketex for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do when your HP is as low as that. That's a little bit unfortunate, but also a very, very nice clutch from Ketex there. You love the nade. You love the Kobe. It's always fun to see.
Yeah.
19 all. This is a best of 3. This is map 1 of a best of 3. It's kind of hitting me right now. I'm sure it's hitting the players like, hey, we have at least one more map after this. You know, completely regardless of who wins this. It's definitely going to be... a war of attrition, a war of, you know, stamina when it comes to map 2. But I guess the more important question right now is who can win map 1, because these rounds are just going back and forth. Are we even going to see a map 2? Or are we locked in some sort of horrible Twilight Zone version of a never-ending CS game?
Who knows, man? Well, we're going to find out, I hope. If we don't, then I'm going to be a very tired man. But firstly, we have to pick up on the fact that Paquetá have gone for a double AWP setup this time around. Switching to it in the previous round, of course, meaning they're willing to go for it. First time I feel like this game, and they've really invested in toward that. And it's David, the one to pick it up, of course. 39 and 25 for him. He has not really stopped that much at all. I think he's still got a couple of very impactful frags in overtime, despite the fact he finished regulation with 34. So this is a very good game from him so far. But at the moment, SWS taking this one slowly. This is a lot slower than I feel like we've seen before from them. And it looks like they're preparing for an A play with the top part mollies about to rain in.
Yeah, Destiny's in a good position to punish these players, but the flash is good. Sadly, Matios, he gets caught right on the vent and isn't able to drop down. Ketex is in a good position to find one. Nithon will also join him for a kill of his own and for the bomb drop. Two players now stuck outside Gafolo and Che. They are so far away from this bomb with so little time. There's so little they can do. Now, Che will find the first. He's trying to clear out these other players, but all four of these CTs are towards the B site, just holding onto this bomb. Che, he will find one, but the second he goes down this vent, he's going to meet two more. And yeah, that is the round for Paquetá. 20-19 now in overtime 2, as we now switch to SWS on the CT side and Paquetá Gaming on the T side, which was their stronger side.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could be a key factor to possibly bring this game through, of course. I mean, we haven't seen a clean 3-0 on either one of these overtimes. So, it's been 2-1 to either team both times. So, it's still incredibly close. No one is willing to give an inch. But Paquetá with a lead at 20-19. Only the second time they've had a lead so far in this first map. First was 17-16, I believe. Some messy utility from the CT side, though, as we go in toward A to begin. A few missed grenades, missed incendiaries, but they will get one player down the vent. Oh, but Che is going to chase it. Ketex goes down. Destiny will at least trade toward Matios, but he's taking a lot of damage for it. And now, back into a 4 versus 4. Che going aggressive again toward outside. Will he catch Destiny? He will, but Nithon is going to take a Gafolo, and now a possible pitch toward Heaven could come in.
Yeah, this is a lot of map control for Paquetá. It is a 3 versus 3, but Paquetá definitely looking like they're in a slightly better position for the second. Nithon, he's just hoping for someone to get aggressive outside, maybe come up towards Secret, try to hunt him down, see if he can punish them. But it doesn't seem like SWS are interested in that at all. So it's just going to be pretty much silence across the board for now.
Yeah, and it looks like they're ready to go in perhaps with a group play toward A with Nithon pinching from Heaven. That would be a good play because Riccioli's stuck on the site, but it's not even going to be needed. Nithon doesn't need to do anything. IDK's taken him down. Now it's all down to Rykes and Che. What can they do in this situation? They can obviously afford to go for this. They both have defused kits, as you would expect in overtime, and they've got good utility remaining still as well. Che with this Molotov. There's a grenade and a flash as well. The Molotov will force David away from that position. The grenade will do even more damage to him, but he gets away with at least half HP remaining. And it looks like Rex, he gets one, but will it be enough? No. Good trades. David gets the frag toward Che, and the trade toward Rex will be done by Nithon. So this is big. We have a 2-round gap in overtime. Paquetá, their first map points of this first map.
I mean, if you asked me in the first half who I thought would be taking this, I would probably say SWS, and it's not going to be in double overtime. But Paquetá, they are the first team to really be on what is a dangerous match point, on a definitive match point. Of course, SWS, they do have the nice overtime money, so it's still completely, entirely possible for them. That was an interesting molly to just push through there. Che, look how forward he is as a CT. He's trying to hunt these players. Matios will find one outside. Gafolo for another, and Matios, he's trying to help his teammate out through the smoke. Hopefully, the nade lands through the smoke. Destiny is just trying to dance around, see whatever he can find, but this is just falling in favor of SWS. David, he's good for trade on 1. I can hardly even cast these trades, how fast they are. Barely, I mean, much less observe them, as now IDK is all alone. 1 versus 3 with 12 health. This should be pretty much over. The information is there, and the kill does come through for Riccioli. 21-20, SWS fighting for triple overtime, as Paquetá are still on match point, but a little bit closer to being stopped.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, SWS felt like their opinion of that round was quite literally, okay, we've let Paquetá do a little bit too much in these couple of rounds. We're going to go full aggression on this one. I mean, the AWP duel for Gafolo toward outside was pretty remarkable, just dancing around that smoke, eventually taking one more when he probably shouldn't have. And we still have to take into account that the Paquetá still have this one map point. 22 is that magic number. Folo facing off against his fellow AWP in Cortex toward Door to start us off. How will this one pan out? This is so close between these two teams. I feel like either one of them will be pretty devastated if they do go on to lose it. It'll be hard to recover in map 2. That's a tough one.
Yeah, this is... I mean, it's hard to predict what's going to happen on any of the other maps because this is both of these teams' best map. So it seems like when you bring them both to their best map, to at the top of their game, it is somewhat evenly matched. Evenly matched enough to take it to a double overtime at least. So if the other maps, are maps that they're both equally practiced on or equally unpracticed on, that might be, another close thing. But if it's chosen by Paquetá. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. But if it's a map chosen by Paquetá, which it is, they might have the upper hand. It might be, a map that they know a lot better than SWS, and that might be what really decides it there. But more importantly, this round is going to decide if we see a third overtime or if we just settle it at 2. Reeks is in a good position to punish. He's missing the entire spray, though. He finds one and is able to sneak back behind the box, stay alive. 2 players make their way towards the site, but are they going to be ready for the door open? Gafolo, he finds damage, but no kills. Now David is alone hunting this Opper, and there it is. Triple overtime as SWS do close out that last round. Gafolo finding the final kill on the Op. Oh, boy.
I mean, we couldn't even get a trade there toward ramp. I mean, that was just so well held by SWS. They refusing to give this map up. It looks like we will have a little bit of a break, Cullen, a 3-minute break until the next period of overtime. But yeah, that is just, again, Paquetá is going to be kicking themselves. They didn't take advantage of those 2 match points. Their first 2 in a row, of course. And yeah, we have more rounds to come.
Yeah, this is... I mean, it's... the only way to phrase it is a barn burner. It almost makes me worried that it's going to go a little long and go over the other match today, which, hey, look, a transition. We can talk about that real quick on this match break. We do have 2 matches today, 2 best of 3s after this match between Paquetá and SWS Gaming. We do see Isurus versus Sharks later today. The winner of this match will face the winner of that match in the upper bracket for this closed qualifier. Of course, we are very, very far from figuring out who wins this map right now. We still do have a map 2. If you're wondering what the map picks are, it is, of course, Nuke, which we are on right now. And then after that, it is going to be Vertigo. And then if we need a decider, it is Dust 2.
Yeah, and I have to say, really strongly favour Paquetá on Vertigo. Because, going by paper stats alone, they've played it 13 more times on HLTV than SWS have in the last 3 months. So, and they've got a higher win rate as well, obviously. So to show the difference there really makes it critical for SWS to take this map pick of theirs on Nuke away. And yeah, you'd have to favour Paquetá hugely if they do manage to steal this one. I'll be curious to see how it goes, of course, with SWS. They have looked very, very good today. I've been very impressed with just their basic Counter-Strike in general. They've been able to take advantage of some of the crossfires that weren't particularly right for Paquetá early on. They got 11-4 half to start us off. That feels like a very long time ago now, but it's ever since then we've had David reaching 42 kills now. He's 42 and 27 in this game. He's having an absolute banger so far. And he's been the main guy keeping Paquetá in this series and in this first map. So it's pretty remarkable from him, that is for sure. Looks like we're only a few seconds away from getting underway once again. And we can try and see if one of these teams can maybe clean sweep in overtime. As I mentioned earlier, we have not seen that yet.
Yeah, we've always seen the 2-1 at the half from both of these teams, just trading back and forth. I mean, it just shows how evenly matched they are, at least when it comes to Nuke. It is difficult to predict how any of these rounds are going to go. You just see, maybe some heroics from David come out. You see, Matios find a really interesting or a really strong opener. You see Chase spray 2 players down. I mean, all of these players are just looking stellar. I can't name a single player in the server who hasn't given us something really interesting to watch, who hasn't had an integral play in one of these rounds to help out his team. It is just, all cylinders firing on full throttle right now for both of these squads.
Yeah, and there's not really anyone really lagging behind either. You said, as you say, everyone's sort of had an impactful round. I would say only really Riccioli in 21 and 32 is sort of lagging behind a little bit, but still, he's had like a couple of rounds toward outside where he's basically won the round on his own. So it's a tough one. We're gonna have to go back into this overtime right now. Third overtime is about to get underway. I believe our magic number is 25 to look for a winner. And we're going to make our way down towards Secret very, very quickly on Paquetá. David looking to go in first on the entry. He's the most scary player for SWS for sure in this game. 2 face so far. And they're going to take the double doors and the single door very quickly indeed.
Yeah, Rix is in a good position to punish. Here he can drop some utility and try to catch these players coming out of the door. But he may not be ready for when the bathroom door opens. It is being spammed right now by David, but going to be difficult. Matios actually finds the opener. I didn't even see him go down Secret, but he just jumps down for a second, finds the opener, and then immediately backs up to outside. Just a perfect kill and evacuate. That'll really give his team a lot more room to work with in this site take. Are they going to be ready, though? Reeks is in a good position. Che will find the first. David will trade, and now it's going to be Reeks to find one and Matios to find one as well. K-Hex is now all alone. He finds where one of his players are, but now he's getting hunted down. He only has the op, and he's getting pushed from almost every single angle. He is actually going to make his way towards the A site, but oh, little does he know. Riccioli is right above him, so if he decides to go up these vents, it is not going to go well.
Yeah, I mean, what can you really do in this situation? Looking for some frags at least. You know, Padgett stats a little bit. He's had a pretty decent game so far as K-Tex has had some very impactful rounds, of course, winning that round early on with the grenade. Folo, all we gets the information. This is crazy. He's actually still alive in this one. Can he get away around the corner? They're both just jumping away from each other. That is pretty comedic. There's only 9 seconds to go, so that's what he wants to do. He wants to save this AWP, and I don't blame him in the slightest. He's getting pushed by everyone, basically. So let's look at the cavalry arriving towards Secret. Gets one, gets dinked down, though. Should be able to hide and survive. He will do just that. No! Last tick of the round! He gets wall banged by Matthias, and the AWP is gone. So, doesn't matter too much, of course, in overtime, but still, that was very close indeed. And SWS will retake the lead once again. It looks like more aggression this time from the CT side of SWS is really working out for them at the moment. They realized that, you know, they can't just sit back and let Paquetá execute on them. They got Secret really, really quickly, did Paquetá, but they didn't, in the end, manage to do much with it at all.
Yeah, that was... I mean, it is a little unfortunate that the op dies after time. It means that if they lose this round as well, they're probably going to have to drop the op over from someone else because KTX is going to have a very minuscule amount of money, but still with how much his teammates have, it is not that much of a problem. It would have been a much bigger problem if multiple players died after time, but SWS, I'm sure they're happy regardless with just winning a round and making sure that the economy is at least a little bit hurt going into this second round of, you know, triple overtime. Just a very calm third overtime. As a Paquetá Gaming, they
emphasize that,
yeah, just a, you know, just a run-of-the-mill triple overtime. As Matios, he is going to find the first. The shot was not run-of-the-mill at all. He was almost full blind, but he is able to hit that head.
Destiny, though, trades back nicely toward Che, and I think they know there's a player toward Garage as well because Matias was the player to get that frag, so they know that information. A flash is going to come in to go for that duel. Destiny gets another one back towards right, and Matias is still alive, and Destiny will find himself a third kill. What a hugely impactful round it's been from him so far. He's done his job. He's on 8 HP. He can go down for free, and hopefully Paquetá will get the round they deserve from this one. Gafolo and Riccioli remaining AWP, but Destiny, another headshot. 4 on the round for him. Can he even get an ace in this situation? Gafolo's quite disconnected from the action, so I doubt it. But still, this has been incredible stuff from Destiny. How beautiful from him. They can get the bomb plotted comfortably with 20 seconds to go down toward B. So this will be a Paquetá round if Gafolo can't do something ridiculous.
Yeah, David just quickly puts an end to that one, but a beautiful 4K from Destiny there, just dancing around outside, finding some absolutely amazing headshots to bring us to... This is going to surprise you, but we're actually at a tied scoreline again. One of the first ones we've seen in these overtimes, but 22 all now across the board as each team have found one round in the first half of triple overtime. So whoever wins the second one will have the lead going into the second one. Of course, both of these teams seem to be a tiny bit stronger on their T side, so it's most likely that Paquetá take this, but even then that doesn't mean much because SWS could just take the other two in the second half of triple overtime. So, I mean, I gotta keep saying it, still anyone's game. That's a good opener from Matios, though.
Yeah, for sure. And we sort of get to the situation at this stage of the game where, we played for so long. What new stuff can you really come up with on CT and T in this sort of situation? Good damage from Matios. That actually takes down IDK as well. That gives them a 5 versus 3. 2 frags for Matios on this round. And Che is in a good position toward ramp if they decide to go there. But KTEX, that's a big pick. That's going to call back those 2 players from ramp straight away and go for perhaps a bit of a pinch toward the A site. Already they've spotted Matios crossing back toward D4. He gets in the middle of another shot. That's a great round from Matios. 3 kills. David responds with 2 though. The absolute raid boss of Paquetá, up to 46 kills and 28 deaths. 2 versus 2. Bomb planted on A. Retake imminent.
Oh wow, these these rounds, they are the gift that keep on giving. SWS now forced to attempt the retake. This is going to be a difficult retake. Both of these players are playing off of the site. The molly will keep the player at bay, but it will not stop KTEX from having a great line of sight onto any cross towards the site. Rakes drops down. He does make noise, but he is going to get peeked. He isn't ready for the peek. Gafolo, he has to win this fight, and no, it's going to be KTEX to find that. Paquetá find 23.
That was, I believe, a 2 versus 4. In the end, obviously, it was only 2 versus 4 for a split second, but still, not an incredible comeback from Paquetá once again. I mean, SWS and particularly Matios will be kicking himself. Matios could not do any more. 3 frags from basically 3 different positions as well. Perfect stuff from him, but it doesn't get him the round that he'll feel he so deserves. Another humongous 3K in response from David, answering back exactly the same. He's up to 47 and 28. I'm just going to keep mentioning it at the beginning of every round, basically, because it's that impressive. He's been the main reason Paquetá have been anywhere near SWS in this game, I feel like. And now some aggression toward outside. KTEX will get himself one. This is where it could get very interesting now. Che will make his way through toward Mini, but David has his number. Or Destiny, sorry, has his number. And Rex now will at least manage to trade that one. And trades are going so wild and so mad. But in the end, again, it's a 2 versus 2. They know nothing is toward Mini. He'll get dueled by Matios and eventually wins out the duel. Now it's all down to King David. Can he recover this situation? Looking for a 2K 1 versus 2, but no. This time it's Matios putting an end to it. 3 on the round for him this time. And Cullen, guess what? We're even again. That was a long period of constant play. That was pretty insane. Uh-oh. P90. What? Oh. The nade. They've had enough of it, haven't they? I mean, they had. Sorry to cut over you. My apologies, but I'm just so astonished by the situation we found ourselves in. I mean, they've just had enough. I mean, the fact that Che buys a P90, gets the entry, switches to the M4 instantly, and gets 2 more kills. Just a pure whole W situation. SWS, they want this game over. They know they need this map. They want to take it as fast as possible. David gets a little bit spooked toward round. Second anyway, but look at the damage being done by Paquetá. Another rush toward A is not working out. 2 for IDK. KTEX will get the other. And SWS trying again for the fast play. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this time it has broke. And it's a 2 versus 5.
Yeah, I just realized that my mic was muted for a little bit, so I apologize for that, but we should be back. And more importantly, we are looking at what might be a 4th overtime, as now we only have 2 players alive for SWS. They are going to, of course, go for this. It's the last round of overtime. No reason not to, but there's almost nothing they can do. They have the bomb in their control, but Nithon, he has a beautiful flank on the horizon. He might be able to find one of these players. He just has to figure out where they are, and he will find the first. Can he turn around for the last? No, he doesn't need to. David already found it. 4th overtime, quad overtime for Paquetá. Paquetá versus SWS Gaming on Nuke.
What can you say about that? I mean, Matios, I have to say, he has completely gone up to 11 in the last few rounds. He's answered back so hard to the frags being put on the board by David. He's up to 44 and 31 now. He's in the, again, I mean, I said that David was the main reason for Paquetá. Matios is the main reason for SWS that this overtime is staying close, I would say. And once again, we go into another overtime. I believe the magic number this time is 28, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. It's rare that I've gotten this far in a best of one, or best of three, sorry, in an overtime. And look at the frags coming in from Paquetá. SWS's fast plays are starting to be figured out from the CT side. Chase down to 11 HP. Gafolo had the AWP, but not really much you can do with it with the bomb dropped on the B site. This should be a 25th.
Yeah, should be. A lot of these rounds, should be rounds for certain people and then somehow get stolen away. I think this one is, definitively a Paquetá round. As Gafolo and Shea, they really have nothing they could do here. The bomb's not even in their control. The bomb is down on the middle of the B site, which is being manned by 2 different CTs right now. One of them, of course, being David, and the other one being K-Tex, both top fraggers for their teams. David, after that round, just hit 50, by the way. He's on 50 frags. The only person following him very closely is Matios, who is on 44. Destiny, he takes down the first player out of these 2, and now it's Gafolo left in a 1 versus 5 with an op. Yeah, I don't think this is possible.
It's not. And David,
there it is.
50 kills, by the way. He's hit the big 5-0. That is, I mean, you remember, Cullen, the other day I was talking to you about a couple of ridiculous overtimes that was happening, in other South American matches where I think it was Havan Liberty versus 9Z, I believe, where I think the guy was called Try. He had a regulation of going 45-17 and ended the game, I think, with 58 kills, something like that. And he was on the losing side. So, I mean, if Paquetá, with David on 50 kills, will lose this game, then that's going to be a hard one to stomach. But at the moment, they've taken the lead once again at 25-24. We're going to go on even further. And what on earth do SWS have left? I mean, we've reached the stage, as I mentioned before, Cullen, the fact that, strategy sort of goes out the window. You have to go in for some fast plays, but last 2 that they've done haven't worked.
Yeah, that's, a good opener. Rix and Riccioli are going to go ahead and join up. I think they want to go ahead and even this up to a 25 scoreline. Be one of the very rare even scorelines we see. That's sarcasm because we've seen it very often. The retake for Paquetá is underway, though. They are looking to do it. David in heaven. If there's anyone who can win a round like this, it is going to be him. But his teammates are so far away, and the afterplant positions are just so good that I don't know if this is going to be possible. They have to be gifted an overextension. They have to be gifted a peak that they shouldn't be given. And with David falling, this is pretty much over. Reeks is going to find the first, and K-Tex, he's just going to get peaked by all 3 players at once. And SWS bring us to 25 across the board in the 4th overtime.
It's just impossible to split them, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, as I was saying a couple of minutes ago, fast plays as a group, they are the ultimatum of 50-50, or the ultimate, 50-50, aren't they? Because they can either fall apart if you lose 2 opening picks, or they can work perfectly with 2 entries. So we've sort of reached that stage of the game now where it's, who can really make the best of that situation. Again, we see Paquetá on the double AWP setup this time. David with that secondary alongside K-Tex. Can he get into the action with that sniper rifle? He's done most of his work on the rifle. At the moment, though, Che, that's a beautiful entry toward Nithon and a good entry for SWS. Again, this is the last round of this portion of overtime. David answers back. There's the LWP. IDK gets 1 on response with the M4. That is a flick and a half from David. I don't know if we caught that on camera, but that was absolutely ridiculous. Just what I said about him using the LWP, he's only gone and proved me right. What an insane shot from him. And now it's all down to Gafolo, and he can't even take David. 3 on the round for David again. Another multi-kill round, and Paquetá take 26.
That is, this is insane. We did just pass good old round 50. That was round 51. Now heading into round 52. If anyone is keeping track, the longest map in history, I did Google it just to see what it was. The longest CSGO map in history was a whopping 88 rounds, so we're not quite there yet, but ooh, it's definitely getting up there in numbers. As Paquetá, they do have the lead, but I refuse to write either of these teams out in any of these rounds because I know I'm just going to be proven wrong. Maybe, you know, maybe I have to reverse psychology. I've said so many predictions that were just proven wrong instantaneously. What if I say this this game is not going to end in this overtime? We're gonna see a fifth overtime. There we go.
Counter jinx, perhaps. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. I mean, in this situation, we've sort of again reached a stage where what do these two teams have left apart from just pure unadulterated aim duels? You know, it would be pretty remarkable, Cullen, if we do get to cast a record match in when it comes to longevity. But again, now we're going into one round. That's a different look for SWS. Good trades by Gafolo. Katex will at least get one back, and there's a nice shot from Nithon. He takes Gafolo out of the round. That gives Paquetá a big advantage, and Destiny will take Riccioli as well. That makes it a 4 versus 1. Paquetá are going to have a 2-round gap, and again, for the first time, I think, since they were around 21 rounds, a chance at completing with Destiny, and another great 3k from him, a chance at completing this map versus 28, 2 match points.
Yeah, this is, man, this is scary for SWS. They had, I mean, such an amazing lead. At one point, a 9-round lead. You know, back, if you can remember when this was in regulation before overtime. Of course, we played almost as many overtime matches as we have regulation rounds at this point. But they were so definitively in the lead at this point. And now Paquetá, my American brain keeps wanting to add the American Q sound to it. I apologize for that. They are so close to taking this back, and that is actually so much damage onto the side of Paquetá, though, from SWS. The nades tag them down so much as they try to take this site. Even a molly, even a nade at this point could put an end to the round for them, as IDK is looking to hunt for something, but the kill does not go his way. Now it's Nithon all alone. This, of course, doesn't spell another overtime just yet. If Paquetá lose this round, there is still one more round they can try to take this home, but SWS looking to fight even more. Nithon, he is in a 1 versus 3. It's not impossible, but it is going to be difficult. He knows where one player is. I think he spotted that player right there, but I don't know if he's ready for Gafolo around the corner.
This is a tough situation. I mean, he has 2 flashes in the smoke. I mean, that's something, but he's basically closed in from every single angle. He's not going to expect this one from Gafolo, surely, and Gafolo will hit the nice shot close up. So, one more for Paquetá, one more map point, and a chance to steal SWS's map pick away from them. What I will say is that one thing I think we haven't seen properly, of course, we see lobby crunches quite a lot on pistol rounds and MP9 rounds on a half buy, of course, but we've reached a stage where they don't happen anymore. We've been in overtime for so long. We've almost been in overtime, I think, for longer than a regular game. Have we? It's clearly close, it feels like. And we haven't seen a big lobby crunch with those rifles. So I feel like if SWS want to do something like that to maybe recover this situation, it might be a time to do it. They tried one earlier, of course, but it didn't work very well because they weren't quick enough. Now we get to see if Paquetá can finally bring this one through. One more map point. 28, the magic number.
Yeah, I was doing some quick maths in my head there. If all of the matches were 16-0s, we could have gotten through 3 maps in the amount of time it's taken us to get through this just round-wise. Matios, okay. Through the smoke. Through the smoke, Matios. All right, man. 1-2 for him. He doesn't need to see you to kill you. That's very good from him, and that means SWS very close to bringing us to a 5th overtime. Reeks is now going to be the one tested on the B side. He is able to find the first. Can he find more? No, he will be put down. Destiny will find a trade before David falls. Now it's Destiny alone in 1 versus 4. He's looking to push the player on ramp, but he can't find the kill. It's Gafolo to bring us to, that's right, a 5th overtime.
Aye. Is there anything else other to say than aye at this stage?
I mean, there's only so much.
31 now, Cullen? It's 31, right? Now the magic number, I believe.
Yes, first team to hit 31.
It's been so rare for us. Yeah, it's been so rare for us to be in this position that, we have to double check these sort of things. It's what a remarkable game. I mean, in that situation, actually, before I get onto that, what I will say is what I feel like has been really unfortunate for, just the sake of this map is the fact that when we've had either SWS or Paquetá in a situation where they actually have a map point, SWS had some at 15-11 and at 18-17. Paquetá had some, I think, at 21-19, I believe, and then just then at 27-25. One thing we haven't seen is then a clean round in response to try and bring it through, because it feels like every time a team gets to that stage, there's so much damage done so early on into the round. We saw it just then, right? 2 kills through a smoke by Matias. I mean, you just can't account for that if you're Paquetá. That's just completely out of the blue and ruins the strat you were planning. I mean, goodness me, so many situations like that I feel like have happened so far, which mean this game continues to go on.
I mean, just the amount of I don't know, not mental strain, but the amount of energy this has taken out of us as casters. You can only imagine, what kind of headspace the players are in right now. I'm sure that, every time they bring it to an overtime, on one hand, they're like, nice, we clutched it out, let's go again. And then on the other hand, they're like, another one? Really? I have to? Which is probably a bit of a confusing mentality to have when you want to win. But I'll be honest, I'm still having a great time. I am tired.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm definitely a little bit worn out from this match. I'm definitely going to get myself a nice cup of water between this map and the next one. But
stay hydrated, guys. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, I'm having a very good time watching. I mean, this war of endurance right now between Paquetá and SWS.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's not even attrition anymore, is it? It's literally endurance from both teams. I think it sort of shows someone at this stage has to stay more switched on. I feel like it's been Che, Matias, and David to really be the most switched on throughout the duration of this game. And of course, you'll see maybe, for instance, Riccioli, 22 and 40. He's not having the best of times at the moment. I feel like he's been stuck on 21 and 22 kills for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, almost without the duration of overtime. So he hasn't had much chance to do anything. Of course, it's not nice to, call out the player who's not been getting many frags, but in that situation, you sort of have to bring it up and say, okay, maybe we need something from you to help SWS finally take their map pick through. But yeah, tough situation for everyone involved, casters, observers, and producers, which you, Cullen, are doing all three. So I have to say thank you for doing all that. I really appreciate it. I get to be the one doing the shouting. We both get to be the one doing the shouting, but it's pretty remarkable situation for us all to find ourselves in. And we're about to get started with 5th overtime. I will remind you, 31, I believe, is the magic number now.
Yeah, we're on round 54. We won't see victory until at least 3 rounds from now. So that's, at the soonest, it'll be round 57 that we see victory on, though. I have a strange feeling in the back of my mind that maybe we won't be that direct with it. But I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong.
Yeah.
We will see. It is going to start with some outside control, but Che is going to find the first. Been looking so strong. Someone just tries to creep through the smoke, tries to get a little bit of control there, but isn't able to actually find anything as David does trade him through the smoke. So now it is an even 4 versus 4 as the bomb looks to maybe head towards the A site. IDK with the bomb on his back, creeping into lobby. He actually brings himself above, but they're just trying to figure out where they can get those kills. Gafolo getting a little bit too aggressive is punished for it, but Matias will trade one back. Riccioli dodges the flash, backs off. Rix is good for 1. He takes a lot of damage, but now he's getting hunted. Can he find the kill? He drops down. Is somehow still alive as they try to hunt him. He gets around the corner and somehow still fighting for this B site, and now he has a teammate with him to really help him lock this down, and that is a call from the side of Paquetá to actually make it towards A.
Yeah, I mean, that you could just see the call straight away. They just changed it up immediately. We're going to go around toward ramp and try and take down that HP player. In the end, I think that might have been the better call because they're going to be walking into Matias, the raid boss of the SWS side. But it is David now versus 3. David versus Goliath. He's shown that he can beat Goliath so far in this game, but he needs to do it once more. 5 bullets, doesn't know where Matias is. He can't hit the spray. And David versus Matias goes on even further. This time it's Matias to win it out. 28-27. SWS back in a lead. And one that it will be welcome to them. But again, as I've mentioned multiple times during this overtime, no one has had a clean 3-0 yet. And that, I think, is the main reason why this has gone on so long.
Yeah, it's... If someone could find that elusive 3rd round on a half of overtime, I think that would close it out right there just because of how evenly matched these teams are. Also, I wanted to highlight how important Rex's play there was for that round, just because, he got, I think, only 1 kill, but the fact that he stayed alive was really what gave them so much room in that round. Also, Matias, beautiful shot outside. The man never stops. The man is non-stop. But the fact that he stays alive really forces Paquetá to go the direction they did. David, though, he's going to force the bullets into Riggs' body. As I was talking about him, he's taken out of the round. The molly will force Gafolo off of the angle, so that is going to be a safe passage towards B for the side of Paquetá. But Che is here in control room, going to do so much damage. 1, 2, what is that? Full moving, crouch walking, finds 1 and 2 with the spray, and finds the third Nithon now all alone. He's going to get peeked by Riccioli, but
Fantastic.
that is 2 rounds for SWS. I almost jumped out of my chair.
That was amazing, Cullen. Absolutely remarkable. The crouch walk spray, as you say, Che. 45 for him now as well. He has been a hero alongside Matthias and David. That is an insane 3K from him. I can't quite believe it. Could that be the thing that finally breaks the duck, breaks the resolve of Paquetá? 29-27. Is this finally a 3-0 on an overtime half? We're about to find out. In the end, a trade for Richard at the end sealed that round, but it was all down to Che's ridiculousness there. He tried to pounce on that frag from David through the smoke and go toward ramp quickly, but in the end, not to be. And now, one away from that 30 and a clean overtime sweep on the CT side as well. It's been T that you've mentioned, Cullen, has been doing most of the round winning so far. A CT sweep would be incredible.
Yeah, oh man, I'm almost at a loss for words. That round really put me in a state of guffaw. Matios is still somehow finding kills. I'm not even sure where he found that on the minimap. Che finds one as well. The man is still on from the previous round. Destiny is trading 1 back, trading 2 back, making some magic happen outside, but this is still in favor of SWS, especially with that damage onto IDK. He gets caught by the op of Gafolo outside, and this is going to be a very difficult clutch, but Destiny finds his third. He wants even more. I need to not touch my keyboard and only spectate this man because he is on another one in this round right now. He is looking for some crazy things. Follow, he's actually made his way all the way back to CT spawn, hoping to catch these players off, but that means IDK has enough room to plant this down, and that means that, excuse me, Destiny is in a beautiful spot to stop these rotations, but Riccioli, he will hit that shot. He's been a little bit quiet in this map, but that kill is roaring. It is exactly what they need. IDK maybe looking to close the door there, but clicks the wrong button. He accidentally doesn't hit E. He hits mouse 1 instead, so that's going to make this a little more difficult as his position is now given away. Can he be seen around this corner? I feel like, yeah, he repositions. I feel like he could have been seen there. It's just a tap. He doesn't actually have to swing it. It is being held. Can he find the first? So no, he cannot. The first half of overtime where all 3 rounds go the way of one team finally happen. SWS take us to 30. 1 round away from taking home map 1 of a best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's been multiple maps here, as you said earlier. I mean, the main things of that round, I would say, is the fact that Matios gets a couple of beautiful frags toward outside on the AK. I think one was T roof, or mini roof, sorry, main roof, as they tried to drop down toward A. But Destiny, the response was absolutely remarkable. 3 kills on that response. In the end, though, it's just not enough. He tried to look toward outside at the end, couldn't make it happen. And now SWS just need 1 on their T side to win this map 1 and take their map pick, don't forget, and send us into Vertigo with Paquetá looking to respond. Will it finally come through? They're going to make their way down towards Secret once again, this time a bit slower than before.
Yeah, there is one player down here, that being K-Tex, so they might get tested by the op. He has been very, very solid in his opping this entire map, so definitely a scary one to go up against, but it looks like they're actually trying to hunt for this outside player, but it is going to be Nithon to find the first. He only finds one before he's traded. Che will quickly take back against him, and Che wants to flush out this player who's sitting, in mini, but the molly is a little bit too far, so doesn't quite find it. David, though, a great shot from him onto Gafolo brings this round back into Paqueta's favor, a favor that they very, very much need right now.
Yeah, and that's a real big flag from David. And that's some information as well toward outside. Rix has just spotted his backpack will be spotted on the edge of that CT box. So Paquetá know that SWS have control of outside, of CT, of Heaven as well. That means David will fall all the way back and around again. Che has found Destiny now. That makes it back into a 3 versus 3. This is now interesting. Riccioli, big frag from him. He's been pretty quiet in this overtime, but could that be the kill that seals this game? Rix will spray down Katex out toward long. Is this where it ends? David has been an absolute hero for Paquetá in this game. He's almost on 60 kills, but he could be on the losing side.
Oh,
Gets
no.
the first, drops the bomb at least. That's 13 seconds left on the clock to get that bomb planted. He's going to rush in with the M4 as well. Gets the first, back into a 1 versus 1. Shay now, he's really worried about this because the grenade lands on his head. David is creeping up. Is he going to keep it going for longer?
way!
David with a 4K clutch. Can you believe it? We go on further. The hero, David, he keeps it going. I don't know what to say anymore.
There's no world. There's no world that should happen. The fact that he dodges that flash and finds the first kill, I mean, that's a very good ticket into that clutch, but the second one should never, ever happen. He peeks out into someone's crosshair and flicks up and wins the fight and then just lands a perfect... I mean, oh my God. David, what are you doing later? You want to hang out? You want to tell me some secrets?
Anyone, man. If there was anyone in this game to do it, it was him. And, you know, as soon as he got that AWP kill and dropped the bomb, and they had to panic, you could see the panic, honestly, across them, couldn't you? That they had to pick it up quickly and get it planted. And in the end, the angles were held smartly, but David just owned them. Simple as that. And the timing with the grenade as well toward the behind the silo. Oh, everything was spot on. Can it still extend this game further, though? Che's got himself an entry toward the outside position, and they got themselves a 4 versus 3 to possibly steal the game. David will swing wide again, though, for another headshot. Recovers it into a 3v3. SWS will hold back, though. Gafolo gets one toward Destiny. Kazek somehow no-scopes Che, but David answers back again, and now it's all down to Matios to win this game out. Gets the first headshot. Ketek's last one alive. Picks up the AWP. Both players on the AWP. Waits Ketek to hit the shot. Takes his time. Notices that he's scoping toward Heaven and not toward his position. And could this be a double CT side sweep, Cullen? I mentioned how it's the CT side that have been a little bit less in the overtime, but we've had one from SWS, and now Paquetá just need one more themselves to make us go even further.
If that clutch is what gets us to, what is this, the 6 overtime it would be? Because this is the 5th right now. What would that even be called? We have quad overtime. We have, I guess, whatever it is for 5. Yeah, sextuple overtime.
Quintuple. Quintuple, I think, is 5, and then sextuple is 6.
Yeah, so we're on quintuple. We're getting to sextuple. I'm at a loss for words. SWS, I'm sure that they are definitely feeling the pressure right now, knowing that only one more round is going to force them into at least 3 more rounds of play, especially with Destiny opening up the round like that, finding the first. He is down to only 9 health, so takes a lot of damage for it, but the kill is always better than health. David, he might be peeking into a boost up here, but no, he's just going to jiggle right on this angle. He doesn't want to go any farther, and he actually gets a little bit of damage and some information that Gafolo is there, so he's able to back off, fall back towards ramp, and we actually see these players fall off of ramp room. They don't want to take control of it. They decided against it after David peeked them, and they're going to gear up for possibly an A take as they all look to swing out of this position.
They're going into, I mean, it's a good choice for SWS because they're going into where Destiny is on the 9 HP, but there is a crossfire for IDK. They're going to pick out the player up top, though. That could be big, and a big clear out. That's going to be an easy trade toward Destiny. Ketex manages to answer back, but again, it's down to David, the hero of the game. I can't tell you how many times I've said David and hero so far in this first map, but he has to win this clutch out. Matthews is up close, but he can't. It's Che in the end to seal the game. Cullen, it's finally over. A fantastic game of Nuke. How exciting was that? We haven't had a chance to cast much Counter-Strike